and your growth. Don't gamble with compliance. Network Services Group, your partner in GLBA and CMMC compliance.
Services Group.
Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. This is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
But now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my accountant lips. In fact, I'm down in this. You say with my boo babe tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good. Won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too petty once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down. We playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem. You just gotta hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest funk. My left stroke just went viral.
Here we go. What's up, everybody? Wes Moore, Joe Franklin. Time for Out of Bounds. It's got a busy day. A lot of things going on. In fact, Coach Silverfield is speaking with the media right now. Maybe he just finished up. Now his coordinator is going to speak with the media. Hope to get some of that sound for you a little later today. We got Kyle Sutherland. He is going to join us at the bottom of this hour, or as soon as that press conference finishes up. And he can give us some of the details of the press conference and talk some Razorback baseball. They went down to Arlington, won 3 out of 4, and Kyle was down there. Got to listen to yesterday's game after we were off the air. And, you know, the big story was pitching yesterday and new pitchers for Arkansas. All 9 innings were from new guys. Peyton Lee out of Maumelle does a very good job in his first collegiate start, 4 1/3 innings, gave up 1 run. And listening to Dave Van Horn, if the third baseman doesn't drop the ball, they tag the guy out at the third base. Instead, third baseman dropped the ball, and it's a triple. Next guy hits a double, and that's the 2 runs for Peyton Lee, or the 1 run that Peyton Lee gave up. Then McIlvain came in. He was the transfer from Vanderbilt. And the knock on him was he walked way too many guys last year. Good stuff, good fastball, but he was wild. And he wasn't wild at all yesterday. Didn't have a walk, struck out. I think was it 5? I don't have the box score in front of me. But he pitched really well. Then Mark Brissy, another freshman, came in, pitched the final 2 innings, and Arkansas gets the victory 3-1. It was disappointing, the lack of hitting yesterday against Tarleton State. Scored 3 in the first. I'm thinking run rule. Let's go get 10, 11, 12 runs and get out of there. And that was it for them. Didn't get a clutch hit. Had a couple opportunities, not many. And Arkansas just managed 3 runs. And Dave Van Horn after the game was like, we got a couple guys. If they don't want to change their approach at the plate, they can come sit by me.
Well, that's what early season is for. Still get everything lined out with a new lineup, new roster, new players getting used to, and coaching staffs, they go through this every year now with transfer portal, just trying to see who's going to be the right fit, who will be your starters, who will be key reserves, and that's kind of where they are. But they haven't been scoring a lot of runs in any of these games.
No. Well, the first game, they got the 12 runs and run ruled. But after that, 4 in the loss, 5 in the win, 3 yesterday. So, and it was all, it was kind of the home run ball in the first game. And that's how the, Ryder Helfrich had a couple. I think they had 4 that night. And Mike Anu walked it off with the home run and to give them the 10-run lead in the 8th inning. And since then, it's been a lot of guys left on base. And you could tell, like you said, it's early, but Van Horn's a little frustrated because they have a way they like to do things offensively, and some of these guys weren't doing it. And he said the approach, 2-strike approach, you got to get the ball in play. We got too many guys, rolling over balls, trying to pull balls. That's when you get 2 strikes. Now, when you got to go up the middle, go the other way with it and just make contact. Because he said, you make contact, sometimes good things happen for you, and the other teams do make errors, and that was kind of how they scored some runs with some fielding errors. But we'll talk more with Kyle Sutherland about that. Also coming up, speaking of the team, we got Steele Eaves. He's going to join us today at 2:30. Steele got the victory in the extra inning game, gave up the tying run, or actually the go-ahead run. Arkansas and Cam Kozel tied it up in the 9th, and Steele came back and pitched a perfect 10 and 11th? Were they both perfect? Anyway, no runs were allowed in the 10th and 11th inning, and then Arkansas walked it off in the 11th and still gets the victory. So it was one of those. I'm sure he was disappointed with the 9th inning, but very happy with the 10th and 11th innings. And we'll get him on here at 2:30 today. Thanks to Stephen Elmore, Shelter Insurance. And we got Coach Z, Matt Zimmerman, at 2:10 today. And we'll get to talk about Alabama. This should be a very entertaining game. When you look at these two teams, and I pulled up some of the NCAA stats. Alabama's number 2 in the country in scoring, 91.8 points per game.
Not surprising for them. The way they play that inside-out game and mostly outside, more so probably outside in. They want to shoot threes. They want to get quick, easy baskets at the rim, and that's their game. They don't do much in between.
Steve Sullivan, got to give him credit, tweeted out, Alabama leads the country in the percentage of three-pointers taken. 55% of their shots are three-pointers. That leads the country. Arkansas is well down the list. Only 31.5% of their shots taken are threes.
Probably should be that way.
Yes. Although Arkansas ranks number 2 in the SEC in three-point shooting percentage.
Behind Alabama?
A&M.
A&M is shooting. Okay. Well, that does make sense also that Bama wouldn't be leading the way in percentage, seeing that they shoot the most.
High volume in Arkansas, not taking a lot. I think it shows that they take good three-pointers.
Efficient.
A lot of times they're wide open, and you should be up there in shooting percentage. But 37.1% for Arkansas, number 2 in the SEC. Arkansas is number 9 in the country in scoring. So you got 2 top 10 teams in the NCAA meeting up tomorrow night. Arkansas is averaging 88.8 points per game, 3 points behind A&M. A&M number 2, Arkansas number 9. Arkansas, and we were talking about their shooting percentage, they are shooting 50.4% from the field. Overall, over 50%. That is tied for 14th in the country. It's what Calipari said yesterday when we played that soundbite. They are making inside the three-point line a high amount of their shots. So why would you take a bunch of threes? He said for what they're shooting inside the three-point line, you would have to make 48% of your three-pointers to be equivalent. And he's like, nobody's going to do that. So what we're doing is working. You know, he's just kind of going up against the trend these days, the Alabama trend, shoot a bunch of threes, get layups and threes, layups and threes. That's kind of the offense, the in vogue offense. But his point is, you know what? If you're shooting a high percentage inside three-point line, don't worry about three-point line because you're going to, in the long run, score more points that way. You also have 2 of the best teams in the country in blocking shots. Alabama, 5.6 blocks per game. That is 9th in the country. Arkansas right behind them at 5.3 blocks per game, number 14 in the country. So you can see why they are both ranked in the top 25 and off to a pretty good start this season. Arkansas, by the way, is number 1 in the SEC, fewest turnovers per game.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, taking care of the ball, making a lot of shots, good three-point shooting percentage, assist-to-turnover ratio is way up there. The only thing that Arkansas – well, there are 2 things. Arkansas is not at the top of the SEC, rebounding and free throw percentage. And that free throw percentage has come way down since December. And in December, they were up there near, close to the top of the SEC, around 78%. And now they're all the way down. I didn't write it down. I think it's like 73% they're averaging from the free throw line. It's been a rough couple of weeks for Arkansas at the free throw line. Something they definitely need to change. I see Lenardi's got his latest bracketology out, and Arkansas still on that 5 line, behind Virginia only on the 5 line. Alabama right now is on the 4 line. They're the last team on the 4 line. So I think it is natural to assume if Arkansas can go to Alabama tomorrow night and pull off a victory, they'll move up to that 4 line and replace Alabama. Got Vanderbilt also on the 4 line with Nebraska and Michigan State. Nebraska's the lowest. They're 13, Michigan State 14, Vanderbilt 15, Alabama 16. And then you'd have Virginia 17, Arkansas 18. So that would be it's an important win. Last 4 right now he's got 10 SEC teams in. A&M is one of the last, and Georgia, last 4 with byes. There's nobody else in the from the SEC in the last 4 in, but Missouri is part of the group, first 4 out. So Missouri, with their loss to Texas, dropped out of Lenardi's bracketology. So Missouri with some work to do if they want to make it to the NCAA tournament. And they got 2 games against Arkansas, and if they can win 1 or 2 of those, that would be huge for Missouri. Some notes from Coach Silverfield's press conference. Got to listen to the first part of it before our show started. Right away, he was asked about the quarterback. And he said he expects this quarterback competition to last until August. And he said, I'm fine with that. I've done it before, and it's not an issue. But he said both KJ and AJ love football, and they're doing everything they could ask of them right now. But these 2 guys need to be thinking football when they go to bed and thinking football and offense when they wake up.
Well, that's good that he put it out there also, so he won't be asked over and over again, because a lot of times during spring you expect that there's going to be an announcement, or even prior to spring, or let spring play out and then shortly after. But if he put it out there that it could go on until August, he won't be asked about it over and over again leading up to whenever he makes that announcement. Mm-hmm. Not saying that he won't be asked about it again, but it won't be a daily deal.
He was also asked about the defensive line coach that left for the NFL, and I never got a firm answer, and maybe there was there and I missed it, but it sounded like to me what he was implying was they already had 2 defensive line coaches. And one of them's gone to the NFL, and now they got another guy that's ready to step in and be the only defensive line coach. So
he said they did that with both lines too,
yeah,
offense and defense.
Yeah, got 2 offensive line coaches. He had 2 defensive line coaches, and so one leaving. Don't know what that does for the staff, but sounds like he's okay with the way things are right now. Let's go to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Look, we got about 10 minutes left in this segment before we get Kyle on here. So if you want to join us, 661-1037. We are wide open on this Tuesday to get things started all over the place. Talking Razorback baseball, basketball, little bit of everything. Let's go. Jeff starts us off today. Jeff, Wes, I agree with Justin. How can Acuff be the freshman of the week and Ament player same week? They are both freshmen. If Acuff was a better freshman, doesn't that make him better than Ament? I don't know what they're doing, Jeff. Honestly, I have no clue what the SEC office is doing with these weekly awards. There have been – and yesterday was a perfect example. The 2 guys that got the award that shared it did not have better numbers than Acuff. Not even close. Acuff's numbers were huge. It was a natural fit. He should have been the SEC Player of the Week. I almost feel like it is a crutch for the SEC. They're just like, we'll just name him Freshman of the Week, and that'll open up the Player of the Week for somebody else so that we can honor, several guys. And it is. It's just about the honor, the awards for these guys. I guess it would suck if every week Acuff was the Player of the Week and the Freshman of the Week. Or give Acuff the Player of the Week and name somebody else the Freshman of the Week. But would that make sense?
They could have done it this week. They could have.
But if Acuff is the Player of the Week, he's definitely got to be the Freshman of the Week because there's no other freshman that's going to have those numbers, right?
Well, I mean, the example you just gave. If Ament, as a freshman, is Player of the Week, then why wasn't he Freshman of the Week?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I'd love an explanation from somebody. My hope, though, is they don't penalize him at the end of the season and say, you know what, we'll just give him Freshman of the Year and give somebody else the Player of the Year. No, if he is truly the best Player of the Year, and I am biased, we are biased, I watch him play, I've seen every minute he's played, he's the best player in the SEC right now. The last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he has been the best player in the SEC. Now, they may just give him Freshman of the Year and give some other dude. And look, we got 3 more weeks. We got 6 more games to go, and maybe he hits the freshman, or not maybe, but he could hit the freshman wall, and somebody else just blows up down the stretch and is deserving of the Player of the Year. But to me right now, if the season ended, he's your Player of the Year And then you give Ament the freshman of the year. Kim says, happy Fat Tuesday, Wes and Joe. Enjoy the food. Kim, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Kim.
Can't wait. I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. 501 writes in, says, Wes, I was thinking about how many players that DVH has coached at Arkansas that have went to Major League Baseball. That's part of the recruiting pitch. You look at what they have now in the big leagues, what they have guys just right on the doorstep about to go to the big leagues, the number of guys that have signed professional contracts, the signing bonuses. It's Coach Cal-like at a much smaller level. But that is a huge recruiting pitch. They take a look at the facilities. They took a look at the players that they put in the Major League Baseball or in professional baseball. They take a look at the fan base. They take a look at playing in the SEC. They take a look at the trips to Omaha. And you see why, year in and year out, Arkansas has one of the best recruiting classes or portal classes or both in the country. They have it rolling right now. Lewis joins us. What's up, Lewis?
Hey, Wes, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right, good. Hey, Wes, it's I can tell you what it's called Arkansas bias, my friend.
You think so?
Absolutely. If Acuff was playing, if Cal was still at Kentucky, and Acuff was playing for Kentucky, that's where he would have gone if Cal wasn't here, he would have been player of the week at least 5 or 6 times now, at least. In Arkansas, and with the record and the way we're playing right now, where we won 6 out of the last 7.
Yep.
And the only loss was to Kentucky.
Yep.
And if we'd just simply hit our free throws in that game, we would have won that game.
It would have helped. Or if Malik Ewan just tossed the basketball on top of a player on the floor, that would have helped.
Exactly. So this team they're finally playing well. If it was Kentucky, they would be ranking the top 10 right now. I guarantee you. It's Arkansas bias, and it's going to be that way. I don't care who our coach is. That's the way it's going to be. And because the what's the 2 guys that on SEC now with Darinoka sometimes Fishback and what's the other guy?
Damian Fishback and Young. What's his name?
No, not Patrick Young.
Not Patrick Young.
No, it's the other guy. He played for Tennessee. Used to wear the headband.
Ron Slay?
Yeah, Slay. Yes. They both said the other day that he should be up for Player of the Year and not Freshman of the Year.
I agree. It doesn't. This run of Freshman of the Week does not make sense. Now, a couple of times there were guys who had really good weeks and deserved to be Player of the Week. But you cannot convince me that you can't even argue. Yesterday, there's no case he should have been Player of the Week.
Absolutely. He should have been Player of the Week about 3 or 4 times already.
I'm going to ask Coach Z about it. I bet Coach Z knows more about how this all works and who's voting and how they decide what and why has Acuff not been Player of the Week. So maybe he can help us get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I want to hear that myself, so I'll be listening.
Okay. Lewis, thank you for the call.
All right, you bet.
501 writes in, last one. We got to take this break. Hold on. I need to text Kyle and see if they're done with the press conferences yet. Are we rolling? Are we still rolling on it? Do you know if it's still going on?
I'm not sure if it's still going on.
No. Okay.
No, it's not in here. It's somewhere else.
Does anyone remember how bad Shaq's free throw shooting was when he first started playing in the NBA? I do, yeah. He actually hired a private coach to improve his free throw shooting. Perhaps the coaching staff should consider that for this team. Better yet, with all the NIL money being paid out, individual players could do the same thing that Shaq did. Or you know what? Just get your butt into the gym and shoot more free throws before, after practice. That's how you fix free throws.
Yeah. Putting in the work, that and practice, repetition, it should make you better. But there are some players, not saying that any are on this roster, but there are some players that will never be good free throw shooters. No matter how much they practice, how much reps they put into it, they won't be good.
I'll tell you one of the things that's hurt Arkansas at times, their best free throw shooters haven't been getting to the free throw line. You look up, and it's been some of the other guys shooting free throws. I was irritated yesterday about it, and I talked about it. But as good as Darius Acuff is, and as much as he drives to the basket, you think that guy would be shooting 6 to 10 free throws every single game. He draws so much contact, and they let him get away with it. And I don't know if because he's big, and they're just like, well, he can absorb the contact, and that's not affecting his shot. If it was you look at he needs to do like Brazil. Brazil gets bumped, and he goes flying through the air and throws it up, and they call the foul. But Acuff, I think because he's so big and he's strong and he finishes strong, he absorbs that contact, and they're like, that wasn't much of a foul. I'll let that go. But then again, if you start, taking the contact and bouncing off of it and flailing, it's harder to hit the shot. I'd rather him make the shot and finish it.
Yeah. You want to be able to get the shot up.
But can't you have both? Can't you be strong and finish and get hit and get the foul called?
You can.
You would think. Boyd says, is Acuff the best freshman ever at Arkansas? He is definitely in the conversation. And you look at the numbers that he's putting up, and I saw a thing, I think it was hogstats.com put it out that he is now second only to Scotty Thurman in the number of threes made in a season for a freshman. And the shooting percentage is the second best next to Scotty for a three-point shooting percentage. Man, you look at what he's doing, running the team, scoring, assist. It's up there, and it is a legitimate conversation, and that says a lot because you think of all the great players, the great freshmen at the University of Arkansas, and for him to be in that conversation and to be debated, it tells you how good this year's been. I think we got to watch this play out and see how it plays out. And if he can lead them on a deep run in the NCAA tournament, you very well could be watching the best freshman at the University of Arkansas ever.
It's a big statement, too. He's in elite company to even be in that conversation. There have been some great players as freshmen.
Wes, Joe, how about them Hogs? 8-3 now in the SEC. Actually, they're 9-3 in the SEC. I say the Hogs beat Bama if they hit their free throws. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you, Hog freaking Wild. What was the line yesterday? It was 2.5 on Bet Saracen. Alabama was favored by 2.5. Let me see here and see what we have today, if there's been any line movement. And we should be getting the Vegas line. Vegas line is out. Bet Saracen now has Alabama favored by 3.5. That's the national line. So you're getting another point. Over under. Do you remember what I said the over under was?
Was it 178 or something?
I thought it was 180.
It may have been 180.
Because you guessed like 172.
And I thought it was about 6 points higher than that.
The national over-under line, 184.5.
Ooh.
That's both teams in the 90s or maybe 100 tonight. That is a lot of points. Good Lord. I love the over-under, and, man, that is – if it hits over, Arkansas can score with the best of them. Man, that's a lot. That is a ton of points.
That's both teams getting up and down the floor.
Yes.
Be an exciting game.
JW says, is there any chance Harris can join the baseball team? Laughing out loud. What I saw this weekend was not the Arkansas team that I normally would watch. The hitting was horrible and the pitching is suspect. I don't know about the pitching. I was disappointed, no doubt, in the hitting, as was Dave Van Horn. I'm not disappointed in the pitching. I mean, game one, they held them to 2 runs. Yesterday, held them to 1. I mean, yeah, you could say the 9th inning implosion that was disappointing on Sunday. But, I mean, consider the circumstances. Cooper Dossett making his return after, 2 years? Hasn't really pitched a lot. He was wild and effective, and I think he was just jacked up. I think the same thing with Steele. And we'll ask Steele. He's joining us in an hour. I think they were overthrowing. I think they were amped up, excited. You're in a big league ballpark. You're finally getting to pitch after all these years for Cooper Dossett. And for Saturday's starter, Hunter Dietz, same thing. He's been out basically for 2 years. He's making his first ever start. I think he was jacked up. He was amped up, and he was overthrowing. But take away those 2 performances. I mean, I think they pitched 13 guys. 13 guys over those 4 days, and I think you can say they got 11 good pitching performances. But I'll agree with you. The hitting, besides Game 1, was disappointing. I think they're better. I thought they were a better hitting team. Even on the SEC network, Arkansas gets talked about less than everybody, which should not happen since they're in second place. I get it if you want to talk about Florida and ooh and all over them, and they're the defending national champs. They're hot right now. They're rising up in the net ranking. They're rising up in the rankings period. So they're kind of that hot team people are talking about. So if they're getting a lot of love on the SEC network, I get it. But the next most talked about team should be Arkansas. They're in second place. They've won 6 out of 7, and it's Calipari. You got Acuff. I mean, they should be oohing and awing over Arkansas too. Hey, guys, last season, every time the Arkansas Razorbacks were playing baseball or basketball, I would go to ESPN to look and see the score while carrying mail. I would have to scroll to the very bottom of the scores in the respective sports to find Arkansas's scores. Happened this past weekend as well. Arkansas bias.
Update your preferences, and they'll put it right there at the top. Not that it matters with what's happening nationally and where they put the scores, but if you put it in as your preference, it's going to update it and highlight it for you.
I have that for Yahoo Sports, and Arkansas's out there with Little Rock and UCA. So whenever they're playing, they're at the top of my list. And so when I go to the SEC page, no matter who's playing that day on a Saturday, the top game is Arkansas. So yeah, that's the easy way around that. Just lost a quarterback coach to Maryland. Huh. I have not. I'll have to update Twitter or go to Twitter. I guess that must have come out today. Are you talking about the Razorbacks lost the quarterback coach? Is that the Trickett? Is that the Florida State guy? Trickett? Former coach. Florida State quarterback, and then he was coaching at Jacksonville State, maybe?
Coach Silverfield may have broken that.
Yeah, may have come out during the press conference. Well, we got Kyle Sutherland joining us. Maybe Silverfield's cousin. He's going to join us. We'll get to the bottom of that. I'll take a look at some of the guys that are following the press conferences on social media and see what we have to update you on that. All right, that's a good start. We'll come back. We'll get Kyle on here. We got Coach Z at the top of the hour. We got Steel Eves at 2:30. It's going to be a fun day. Good guests, good topics. I wish they were playing tonight. I'm ready for some basketball. Since Arkansas is kind of hot, rolling right now. That'll give us something to look forward to tomorrow. Head to walk-ons. Watch the 6 o'clock game tomorrow night. 6 o'clock start on ESPN. If you'd like to get out and about and watch it on Ash Wednesday, we'll be at walk-ons. I bet they got some great Mardi Gras food tonight. They got that Cajun style. But we'll have the Bet Saracen Razorback post-game show tomorrow night, probably around 8:30 right here on The Buzz. Hope you can join us. We'll take a break. Kyle's coming up next. It's Out of Bounds.
Catch The Buzz on all our social media platforms presented by Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. It's hot tub season at Luxury Pool and Spa. Online at luxurypoolarkansas.com.
This is Sports Center.
Out of all collegiate baseball teams, the Arkansas Razorbacks have the highest win percentage playing games at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Yesterday, the Razorbacks defeated Tarleton State 3-1. Arkansas pitchers Peyton Lee, Ethan McIlvain, and Mark Brizzi combined for 9 innings for 1 run ball with 13 strikeouts in Monday's win. Peyton Lee is a true freshman from Maumelle, Arkansas, and made his collegiate debut starting on the mound. Lee only allowed 1 run on 4 hits and 1 walk while striking out 5 in over 4 innings of action. The Razorbacks will look forward to their home opening series starting on Friday afternoon, taking on Xavier. Also today, we have some college baseball action on the Buzz Radio Network, specifically on Buzz 2, as the Little Rock Trojans travel across the Mississippi to take on the Memphis Tigers. Coverage on Buzz 2 begins today at 4 p.m. I'm Trip Keeter for the Buzz Radio Network.
Tune in each week when Susan Irwin Prowl shares her Keys to the Weekend music events calendar with Justin and DJ. Brought to you by Willie D's and Big Red Dog Productions. Big Red Dog Productions is your gateway to music excellence in Central Arkansas and beyond. Visit entertainersguide.com to see the weekly calendar and submit your shows.
It's pretty strange how good the deals are at Gwatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock, and tax time is the best time to trade, even if you're currently in the upside down. Right now, get 2026 GMC Sierra with more power than a Demogorgon at 0% and up to 20% below MSRP. Get 2026 Encore or Invista as low as $199 per month. But you won't find a more supernatural deal than Gwatney Buick GMC, because they're prepared to match your tax return up to $1,000 with no alternate dimension required. So escape the upside down prices and head to Gwatney Buick GMC. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. Call 501-945-4444. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. All offers with approved credit Sierra based on MSRP of $55,370 with loyalty. Vista and Encore are low mileage leases. See dealer for details.
Injured? Let's talk about getting help now.
Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888.
Whether injured at night, on a weekend, or a holiday,
dial 8 for Rainwater Holton Sexton.
888-8888.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
It's impossible to have a bad day when you start it with Chick-fil-A.
Hi, I'm Miles.
And this is Grant.
And the little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is
how the fluffy, crispy goodness wakes us up in the morning. The chicken is crispy, the biscuit is soft, it's iconic.
Throw some jelly on it, you can throw some honey on it. It helps me kick off the day.
The hash browns are great. And I really like the shape of them too. Little circles of crispy goodness. Yeah, those early morning chicken biscuits are just great, man.
Mornings are a little bit brighter with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit and Simply Orange Juice. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
Ray Tucker with good news for enthusiasts of Triumph motorcycles. Honda of North Little Rock now carries the legendary classics and cutting-edge rides. We have the Bonneville Bomber, Daytona 600, the TF450X, the Stunning Evo Special Edition, and the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. You get the idea. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union studios. TruService Credit Union. Membership has its rewards with low-rate auto loans, competitive mortgages, and one of the lowest interest rate credit cards in the nation. TruService Credit Union. Online at TruService.net.
Back at it. It is Out of Bounds. Yeah, Matt Zenitz. He broke a lot of news during the coaching searches. Senior reporter for CBSSports.com. Zenitz says Maryland is expected to hire Arkansas quarterback coach Clint Trickett as offensive coordinator, sources tell CBS Sports. Before Arkansas and being the offensive coordinator, Trickett was at Jacksonville State. Led by Trickett, an ex-West Virginia and Florida State quarterback, Jacksonville was ranked #1 in something. Got to click on the tweet. Ranked #1 in Conference USA in total offense. So, yeah, it looks like Silverfield's in the market for a quarterback coach here soon. Let's bring in Kyle Sutherland. He was listening to the press conference. hogbeat.com. He joins us now. What's up, Kyle? How are you?
What's going on, Wes? Doing well, man. Hope you guys are too. Yeah, it was really strange because now I don't know if I was just on the Zoom, but I'm not sure if one of the other reporters started seeing all the stories coming out. But they actually asked offensive coordinator Tim Cramsey about having Clint Trickett on staff, and he answered it as well as you would think he would. He just talked about how valuable it is to have somebody that's played the position, coaching it, and all those different things. But as soon as he answered that, that's when everything started popping out. So, obviously just reports, but, when you see some of the names that are reporting it, it's like, well, they're not wrong very often. So looks like Arkansas is going to lose its second assistant coach within a week. But, in a way, maybe that's a good thing. I mean, the fact that that other schools are coming after your coaches, that shows kind of, in a way to me that they did a good job of putting this staff together. You don't like to see it, but it also shows that they did a pretty good job of putting it together.
How about defensive line coach? I heard him say he had hired 2 defensive line coaches. What's the plan now?
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't say specifically if he was going to bring somebody else on, but he did mention that they hired 2. Just like they hired 2 offensive line coaches in Marcus Johnson and Jeff Myers. They also hired 2 defensive line coaches. So Silverfield kind of elaborated to the fact that Cotton might just hold that solely, but he didn't say whether or not he was going to add somebody else, and maybe they're going to bring on just like an assistant or have somebody within the role that's already there help out, like just an assistant defensive line coach or something. But from everything that it seemed like Silverfield said, it kind of seemed like that it's going to be Cotton's job.
Kyle, what were some of the bigger highlights of the press conference from your perspective?
I think the biggest thing, and I heard Harps Plus did an interview with Tim Cramsey right when he got to campus, and he had talked about how it's big for him to make sure that his scheme fits his players, not that the players fit the scheme. You want to recruit guys and bring guys in that understand your philosophies and will buy into those. But it seems like, and I think that this staff has shown already that they're more so willing to make their philosophies and all of their stuff, whether it's defense, offense, or any phase of the game. They're more so trying to get that to the players, get that to the level where the players are, as opposed to just trying to make the players do stuff that they're not comfortable with. So I think that's probably the biggest thing. I love what they talked about the competitions that we've seen on social media, about they did the draft and all that. It's just it does a multitude of things. It obviously creates fun competition within the guys while also getting better, keeps them in off-season shape. But it's not just on the field stuff that they're judged on. It's whether or not they are taking care of business in the classroom, if they clean up their trash after eating. It's just about every way that they live their life. You're either gaining or losing points. And so it's just a fun way to, again, make sure that the guys are having a fun competition amongst each other, but it's also something to get better with.
Let's talk about the quarterbacks, and sounds like it's going to be an open competition that could last for a while.
Yeah, Coach Silverfield talked about how that it could go in now, unless somebody separates himself in the spring, then, it's kind of like what we expected. It could go into fall camp right before the first game. And Cramsey basically said that and mentioned a few things, and, of course, finished his quote with saying that that's going to be ultimately coach's decision. But that's what you would expect. I know that off the bat everybody's kind of expect, but I think that's the case too. Unless you have like a returning bona fide starter, then most coaches are going to say like, okay, for sure, most coaches are going to say that this is a competition, kind of like what we heard from them. But I think really the biggest deal with that is they don't, and I like what they had talked about, how there might not be, other than Braden Fuller, there might not be a bunch of experience within the room. But then you look at a guy with Fuller that, it was at the Division II level, but Cramsey pointed out that is just ultra important because he understands the position. And so I think just all these guys bring just different types, not just their skill sets. I mean, with A.J. Hill understanding what it is to play for Ryan Silverfield, having done so, Fuller with the experience aspect, and then also K.J. Jackson that has some experience, but also understands more than any of those guys probably right now what it means to be an Arkansas Razorback.
And that's the most interesting thing about this competition is they have A.J. who is familiar to them, but then you have K.J. who's familiar to Arkansas and fan base. And so the fan base already is kind of behind K.J., but we have to let this coaching staff decide who's going to be the guy.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Joe. And I think it's just natural, especially considering and the fact that KJ already was on campus. And look, he did when he got in last year, he did some really good things. Did some scoring drives, and then you like what you saw from. Of course, you didn't see him as much as you thought you would have against. And I understand Petrino putting Palin in the Missouri game. It's his last game as a Hog, and all those different things, but. You didn't get to see KJ a ton, but when you did, he did some really impressive things. And I think you could say the same thing about A.J. Hill as well. You didn't see much from him at Memphis, and I know UAB wasn't the greatest team in the world last year, but you look at that game, Wes, you and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. You look at that UAB game where he came in, and, I mean, he had them within, they were right there on the verge of scoring I think it was a tying touchdown. So when he did get his opportunity, he kept Memphis in the game. So I think that even though that that you don't have a lot to go off of, both for KJ and AJ, but when they have gotten their opportunity, you've liked what you've seen.
Kyle Sutherland is with us on Out of Bounds. He's on the D3 Auto Sales hotline. Kyle, did they point out any individual players? And I know it's been very limited a chance to be with the guys, but anybody of note?
You talking that's impressed them from a skill standpoint or leadership? Yeah. Chad Lunsford, the special teams coordinator, he mentioned that when he was asked about the punt and kick return, he talked about Sutton Smith. He talked about Jamari Hawkins, and then I think McKalen Bratton was the other one. Yeah, it was. And so two Memphis guys that came with Silverfield over. Like those are two that are apparently making some noise on special teams, but. There weren't a whole, and I imagine a lot of names weren't mentioned just solely because they just still haven't seen a whole lot yet, other than those competitions that they're doing and all that. But those were the ones that were mainly pointed out when asked about the punt and kick return. And then Lunsford talked about how Braden McAllister, how powerful his leg is, and that changes the game, kicking in the end zone and things like that. And really talked a lot about Max Gilbert as well and all the experience that he has kicking. So. There were names thrown out and stuff, but that was kind of the main thing, I would say, when Lunsford was asked that question.
Did you get to learn anything about assistant coaches or something more from them as far as maybe their philosophy and kind of their beliefs?
Same thing, because I had already heard some interviews with Cramsey, and some of the questions that he answered was just reiterating that, talking about his scheme fitting his players instead of the other way around. And I probably missed this earlier, Joe, when you asked what were some of my main takeaways. I think ball security and the way that I think it was Ethan Westerman from Whole Hog Sports that asked the question, and as soon as he got done asking it, Cramsey said, "You know what? You're holding that microphone a little loosely there. You better tighten it up." Just kind of creating some fun with it. But he just talked about how ball security is a way of life, and I think that's probably just to hear that kind of stuff is music to Razorback fans' ears, just because we know that was essentially the downfall of what was ultimately a really good offense as far as stats and all that. But then turnovers, we know what that did just about game in and game out. So I think just hearing what Cramsey has to say about ball security and how it is, the fact that I like how he said a way of life. It's almost like they're carrying footballs around, when they're eating in the cafeteria or in class or whatever. So it's just something that they put a major emphasis on. And that's obviously one of the biggest things that Arkansas has to improve on.
Kyle, I want to ask you about your trip to Arlington, but we have to take a break. Can you hold?
Yeah, I'm good now that the pressure's over.
All right, thanks. We'll take a break. We'll talk about the Diamond Hogs when we come back. It's Out of Bounds.
Down south, a handshake means something, and we let our actions do the talking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is rooted in Southern tradition and grit. Southern-born and raised and Arkansas-based, Brad Hendricks is named a Mid-South super lawyer year after year. So for car and big truck wrecks, medical malpractice, wrongful death, bankruptcy, and Social Security claims, his law firm produces results. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Southern roots, serious results.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The Baltimore Ravens fired coach John Harbaugh after a highly successful 18-year run, including a Super Bowl win over his little brother, Jim. Now it will be interesting to see what superstar quarterback Lamar Jackson does in his absence. This two-time NFL MVP has still never led the Ravens to a Super Bowl, shrinking in the big games. Meanwhile, only a dozen teams ended up trying to hire Harbaugh to lead their teams. But I'd wager John Harbaugh gets to a Super Bowl before his old quarterback. Count on Harbaugh to make the New Yorkers giants again. All pumps at Double B's are new and secure for your credit card use. Sign up and pay with your Exxon credit card and save 10 cents a gallon. Double B's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
When the unthinkable happens to your home or business, whether it's damage from smoke, water, fire, or mold, let Rainbow Restoration make you whole again. Their extensively trained team, state-of-the-art equipment, and 24/7 rapid response will help get your life back on track fast. Because this isn't just their service area, it's their home. When you need them, find them at ArkansasRestorationExperts.com. Rainbow Restoration, where they restore, you recover. Services performed by an independently owned and operated franchise.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
This is Pat Bradley, and Happy New Year from the Wood Grill Buffet in Benton. Maybe you made a New Year resolution to eat better, and Wood Grill Buffet has a huge 200-item buffet of fresh, delicious dishes to make the New Year special. Or maybe your resolution is to lose weight. Wood Grill is a huge salad bar and lots of hot veggie items. We'll also cater and bring all the food to you, and you can get it with a quick call or online order to pick up. If you're like me, let's enjoy some great basketball and some great food from Wood Grill Buffet. Two of my favorite things. They're open Thursday through Sunday for lunch and dinner at the Congo Road exit in Benton.
Arkansas, stop paying full retail prices. Head to Natural State Wholesale, the warehouse, where prices and customer service can't be beat, where inventory is stocked and ready to be loaded. Find us at 2011 North 2nd Street in Cabot. Waterproof vinyl starting at just $129 a square foot. Tile deals all day, every day for under $1 a square foot. Waterproof hardwood around $2 a square foot. Need more? Exterior pavers and stone, butcher block countertops, roofing shingles, faucets, you name it, we've got it. Natural State Wholesale, the warehouse, built to save you money.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. Online at TruService.net.
All right, back at it. We got Kyle Sutherland with us. We'll bring him back in, talk a little Razorback baseball. At the Diamond Hogs down in Arlington, and Kyle made the trip. First of all, Kyle, how much fun is that trip?
It was a lot of fun. You know, I'm very familiar with Texas. I lived in, I think I've told you guys, I've lived in San Antonio for 3 years, and so I'm really familiar with basically that whole, like from Dallas down 35. But I ate at some really good restaurants too. So I got a good chance. Of course, got some of my Texas fix in and a couple of good sandwich shops. But no, Globe Life Field, you know, it's funny because I've been to Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium hundreds of times, but had never had walked by Globe Life multiple, but had never been inside it. So first-class people there. It was a whole lot of fun, and, of course, getting to see some really good baseball. I mean, it was as good of a baseball slate for opening weekend as there was in the country.
All right, your thoughts. I thought the pitching was take away a couple of outings from, you know, let's say Dossett and Dietz, trying to overcome some injuries and haven't pitched in a while. I thought they were maybe amped up, a little too excited, overthrowing. But take away those two, I think there were 11 good performances for the weekend. I was happy with the pitching.
No question about it. And, look, I am probably more of a defender of officiating than anybody on the planet. So I don't want this to seem like an excuse, but I think that, you know, there was a really wild, I mean, just a crazy inconsistent strike zone with Deeds. And I think just with his lack of innings, obviously had the worst injury luck that anybody could have. But I think with that inconsistent zone, that really threw him off some. Now, maybe he would tell you different. I don't know. But I think that certainly kind of played with his confidence a little bit. So I think that was probably, but I think he's going to be just fine. He just got to throw. He's got to get more innings in. But, yeah, I mean, the pitching was really good across the board. I was very impressed with Peyton Lee and McElvain and Mark Brissy yesterday. Of course, 2 in-state true freshmen. It was great to see that. But, yeah, I mean, the biggest elephant in the room right now is the offense. And just DBH was very blunt about it yesterday. I asked him about it, striking out 46 times over the weekend, and he went into details about it. Essentially just talked about a 2-strike approach and some of the things they need to improve on there. But then he finished the question saying, and I'm paraphrasing, that basically we got to get some guys to buy in or they're going to be hanging out with me. So he's very serious about it, as he should be, despite it being early on. But, man, it's February. I'm truly not worried about much. I mean, last year they scored 12 total runs in Arlington, and they did that in the opening game. So, I know how good that offense ended up being. So, I think there's definitely some things to discuss as we're doing right now, but I'm not worried about this team in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Well, I think they found a leadoff hitter for now. I thought maybe Damon Ruiz was the story of the weekend.
No doubt. And, of course, he reached base 13 times, which is just absurd. He reached base twice yesterday. So he came into yesterday's game 11 times, and I think the first 2 at-bats he got there, or first 2 times he was at the plate. But I talked to Oliver Grigg, the SID for Arkansas baseball, and I asked if that's a school record because I figured it would be. And he didn't have anything official, but the national record for consecutive times reaching base was 18, according to him. So I'm going to venture to say that's a school record and up there with probably national top 5, top 10 at least.
It was impressive. He was on base all the time. And to go from the 9-hole hitter to the leadoff hitter like that, he caught somebody's eye for sure.
Yeah, well, he was just awesome, especially in that. I know that, and look, I know that was really frustrating for Razorback fans to have a 4-spot put up on you right there as you're about to finish the game and beat Texas Tech. But look, I think that really more than anything, on top of the pitching being as good as it was, that's probably what you should take out of the weekend. Is this team? Yeah, they didn't look great offensively, but they made the plays that they absolutely had to, particularly against Texas Tech, and were able to come out and get that win. So, again, I go back to last, and I don't mean to compare, but then I just look back and I'm like, well, what did they do in Arlington last year? I know that was only 3 games opposed to 4, but still, I mean, you put up 12 runs throughout the entire weekend. You come away still 2-1 or 3-1 with the Tarleton win. But overall, I think this team's going to be just fine.
Kyle, thanks, man. Great stuff. We'll talk to you soon. Coming up next, hour number 2.
Oaklawn Hot Springs presents Oaklawn Race Day with Justin Acree and David Longinati every Saturday morning at 11. It's your inside track to America's hottest thoroughbred action.
Ready for action? Your Little Rock Trojans are turning up the heat. Be there when the Trojans take the floor at the Jack Stevens Center on February 19th as the women take on UT Martin at 5 o'clock and the men at 7. Every play, every shot. It's the hottest game in town. Get tickets today. Single game tickets and multi-game ticket packs are available at lrtrojans.com. Don't miss out on the action. Get your tickets now at lrtrojans.com.
Be a part of a new era of Razorback football under Coach Silverfield. Join the Razorback Foundation for as little as $50 for priority access to tickets, parking, and exclusive events with coaches and players. Text JOIN to 479-349-4313 or visit razorbackfoundation.com. That's JOIN to 479-349-4313. As a Razorback Foundation member, you'll experience a lifetime full of Razorback memories. Go Hogs!
The fine art of armchair quarterbacking.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
103.7 The Buzz. KABZ, Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Gary Burton Jr.
After 33 years, Silver Dollar City is retiring one of its most popular roller coasters at the end of the 2026 season. The ride Thunderation has been operating at the Branson theme park since 1993. Silver Dollar City will be celebrating Thunderation for the rest of 2026, beginning with a ceremony on March 13th the park's opening day. And Goodwill is working to increase childhood literacy rates in Arkansas. They are teaming up with AR Kids to host a family-focused workshop this Thursday. It will be at the Excel Center in Little Rock. Company officials say parents will learn easier strategies to support their students in 1st through 3rd grade. This workshop will also introduce resources from local libraries and community partners. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KARK's Gary Burton Jr.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment presents Coach Nolan Richardson when he joins Drive Time Sports every week with Rollin' with Nolan. Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Bowen. Find them online at ametrucks.com.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center.
After morning patchy to dense fog Tuesday, we'll see that disperse due to wind kicking in, southerly winds sustained between 10 and 20 miles an hour, gusting up to 25 to 30 miles an hour possible Tuesday into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning with temperatures in the upper 60s for highs Tuesday afternoon and mostly cloudy skies. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Jenna Warner.
Are you hungry? Something new, $25, all you can eat, sushi rolls, soup, salad, Benihana rice. Come at Benihana's Monday through Thursday.
What's on Tap, brought to you by Flyway Brewing, weekdays in the zone, where we'll break down what you should be watching and listening for on the Buzz every day during the work week. Flyway Brewing, fresh beer starts here. Follow the migration, and the Little Rock location is now open in Breckenridge Village. Find out more about all they have to offer at flywaybrewing.com.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Get $250 on us with your first $25 wager.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
February is Heart Health Month, and your body may be sending you an early warning sign. For many men, the first sign of a heart problem is erectile dysfunction. At Arkansas Urology, they look beyond the symptom of what may be happening underneath, because ED isn't just about intimacy. It can be about your heart, your circulation, and your overall health. Don't ignore the signs. Take care of your heart and your health with Arkansas Urology. 501-219-8900 or visit arkansasurology.com. Arkansas Urology. Men's health starts here.
Check out the new clothing at Bell & Swart in Conway. A new cricket polo with Razorback logo, button-downs, vests, sweaters, slacks with UCA or Arkansas gear from Johnny O and Peter Millar. Great staff, fantastic service. Bell & Swart, the only Central Arkansas men's store with a tailor on staff to fit you. So go now to Bell & Swart, 1011 Oak Street in Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
Experience the unmistakable difference today at D3 Auto Sales in Des Arc or West Memphis. D3 Auto Sales is your home for quality used trucks, SUVs, and cars from all top brands, specializing in unique customized lifted and leveled used trucks, including four-wheel drives. And this commitment to excellence extends to their full-service 10-bay service department as well. Also, looking to trade in or sell your vehicle? D3 Auto Sales pays top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. D3AutoSales.com.
ESPN Radio Extra Point with Matt Jones.
I think maybe the biggest story in college basketball this year is Darren Peterson, who will likely be the #1 pick from Kansas, who has kind of been on again, off again in playing. I like to occasionally listen to NBA podcasts to see what they will say about college basketball. And the thing that they seem to have the biggest takeaway is, would you want to pick a guy as the #1 pick? Some people think Darren Peterson might be the most talented guard I've heard people say. The most talented guard to come out of college since, like, Kobe, even though Kobe came out of high school. But, like, as a guard, maybe the most talented. But he also misses games for a variety of different reasons, ranging from ankle to flu. I mean, people speculate a lot of reasons. Are you at all worried about a kid who it doesn't seem like loves playing basketball and misses all of these games?
Texting enrolls you in a recurring
automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text AREA to 42424 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
All right, let's look at your Razor Hog update. Diamond Hogs finish up their 4 games down in Arlington. They go 3-1. Yesterday, they knocked off Tarleton State 3-1. Pitching was good yesterday. Peyton Lee out of Maumelle, 4 1/3. True freshman on the mound, making his first Razorback start. Passes the test. Mark Grissy comes in, freshman out of Fayetteville, pitches the final 2 innings, gets his first save. First collegiate game, so pretty good. Pretty good yesterday. Razorback football, you got Silverfield talking with the media earlier today. It's going to be a quarterback competition between AJ and KJ. You've got, well, a report out there that Trickett, your quarterback coach, is going to be hired as the offensive coordinator at Maryland. So Coach Silverfield may be looking for a new quarterback coach if these reports are true, which I think they are. And then you got Razorback basketball getting ready. Oh, Razorback women lost last night. Lost by 9 against Mississippi State at home. Razorback men take on Alabama tomorrow. Number 20, Arkansas. Number 25, Alabama. That is a 6 o'clock tip-off on ESPN. We will have the Bet Saracen Razorback basketball postgame show tomorrow night, live from Walk-Ons, about 8:45 or so for that. Hope you can join us. Arkansas did get DJ Wagner and Carter Knox back for the game Saturday. Limited minutes, and Knox looked to tweak a knee when he slipped on the court. Darius Acuff after the game said it was good to have those guys back.
They provided, a lot for us tonight. DJ Carter came right in, made an impact. Malik Ewing, he came in, he was banged up a little bit from the concussion or whatever. So just to see them go out there and fight, that just shows how together we is and, how good of a group we are.
Acuff was named the SEC Freshman of the Week yesterday. That was a record-breaking 7th time he was named the SEC Freshman of the Week. His shooting was awesome Saturday, knocking down the 3, a career-high 7 3-pointers.
Yeah, that was one of my goals coming in tonight, to make some more threes. Feel like I only hit, the most I hit this year was 4. I didn't feel like that was enough, so I just wanted to shoot a little more, get a little more up, man. They was falling, so just kept shooting. Billy
Richmond had a heck of a game Saturday. His career high in points, but he's not worried about scoring.
I just go out there and do my part, do what my teammates need me to do, bring the energy, and just play off my teammates. I really don't look at it as like that. I just go out there and do what I do. Scoring come with the game. I'm going to get baskets here and there, but defense is my part, That's my favorite possession.
You got Billy in the starting lineup once again, and I do not see him leaving the starting lineup anytime soon since he's been inserted due to those injuries. The last 3 games, Arkansas has gotten off to better starts.
Well, the first 5 minutes of the game, the only problem was the first few we took 2 threes to start again. Stop it. Like we're shooting threes to start the game. But the start of the second half was the difference. And that's what we've been working on, the start of the game and the first 5 minutes of the half. Let's get those under well. And after that, you get up 19, 20, 21, they got to make every shot, and you got to miss every shot. So, it's how we play. They were more ready, more desperate down there. They were more physical. We were trying to avoid contact back then. We've gotten better.
They have gotten better. And what's gotten better, too, is their defense.
We did a couple things. One, we backed up the defense a little bit, so the court's smaller. Second thing we did, we're not switching. You got to guard your man because they like to switch. Go, you take him, and then you're left with no one. And then all of a sudden, the energy you really need to defend with, you don't have because you're looking to switch. We're not switching. You play your own man. We'll help you a little bit, but that is your man. And if he scores 3 times in a row, I'm probably taking you out. So figure it out.
Yeah, that's a couple of simple fixes right there, a couple of changes on the pick and roll. And then also, there were times, and I saw Arkansas, they were playing defense way out past the three-point line. I mean, it's like past half court, and they're already guarding them tight. And if they get beat, then everybody's scrambling, stop the ball, then rotating over to pick up the man who stopped the ball, his defender, and it just creates a little bit of chaos. They have backed that defense up, and I think that's been a pretty good adjustment. Let's bring in Matt Zimmerman, Coach Z. He's on the D3 Auto Sales hotline. What's up, Coach? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How you doing, Wes?
I'm good. We said on last Tuesday, I asked you, I was like, is the defense better or it just appeared to be better because of playing Mississippi State and LSU? And you said, well, let's wait and see what happens against Auburn. Well,
yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I thought it was a very positive step against Auburn. In most ways, it was a positive step. We still had some breakdowns, but the defense played with energy. They played hard effort, which is important. The only negative to me was like Pettiford, who we knew what he does. We know how he plays, and he still got 29. Now, he got to take a lot of shots, but, it kind of became Darius was so good, 31-7. But Pettiford, like 29-7, was right there with him. So they basically almost canceled themselves out. They just didn't have anybody like Billy or Trevin. But I think the defense is still getting better. It's Trevin with the blocks and his attitude on defense is so much better, his energy on defense. And I think it's helping Carter and DJ because although they didn't play a ton of minutes, I thought their defense was a little better when they came in because they've been sitting there for a week, and not playing. And I think their defensive effort was a lot better. They didn't score much, but they had a much better. They were in the right spots. They didn't get beat on defense. I thought they were pretty good. So, hey, this defense has got a chance to just keep getting better. We've got room to improve for sure. It's like Darius. Darius is one of the best freshmen we've ever had, right? You could argue he's the best. I mean, he's had this incredible year, and he still can go a long ways on defense. In conference games, Wes, this guy, one of the best scoring freshmen in the country. And in conference games, he's getting one steal every 60 minutes. You can just kind of be out there running around, you're going to get a steal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so I still think that there's still room for this team to grow defensively and get a lot better. We know we can score, man. These guys can flat out score.
Coach, you mentioned Trevin Brazile and his efforts in that defense, but as a team, what's been key over these last 3 games playing better defense?
For Trevin?
No, just as a team. As a team.
As a team? Oh, as a team. Well, Joe, I think that I think the effort's been better. I don't think any of us just looked at this team and said they're not playing hard. But I do think that they've had they get in stances better. They deny passing lanes a little bit better. When there's been times people try to feed the post, we're like 3/4 fronting in the post and not letting them make the easy post entry pass. I think they've been more fundamentally sound, and I do think the staff really it started coming out of the Houston game way back then, where the staff was like, man, we have got to get a lot better on defense. This isn't good enough. And I think that they spend any team's going to spend practice time on defense. You better. But I think they have spent more time with it. I think they've spent more film work with it. I think the Chin Coleman portion of practice, I think that is grown in importance. And I do think that it's just that they've emphasized more defense. because these guys are scorers. This is a scoring mentality team. These are guys that feel like they're going to outscore you. And so I think that these guys have really had to kind of be dialed in to what kind of defense it takes to win at the highest level. Not necessarily to beat LSU or to beat Mississippi State, but to beat Houston, to beat Michigan State, to beat Duke. This is what we're going to have to do defensively. And I think they've gotten better at doing that.
For Carter and DJ, how do they look to you overall, and not necessarily in game, but you got a chance to see them pre-game and just how they look getting back on the floor? What do they look like overall to you?
Well, to give a little backstory of it, with the Kentucky game, then we had the bye week. DJ didn't practice that whole time. He didn't come back to practice, for a good while. He missed that whole week. And then we go to Mississippi State on Saturday. He still hadn't practiced. We go to LSU on Tuesday. He hadn't practiced. So it was Wednesday, really before Thursday. I guess Wednesday was an off day. I think he worked out on his own on Wednesday and then practiced Thursday, practiced Friday, played Saturday. So he really had only 3 or 4 days of kind of getting back out there and being with his team and practicing. Carter was a little different. Carter played against Kentucky. He wasn't hurt. He came out of the Kentucky game. He's practicing. He's fine. He got hurt like on Wednesday of the bye week. Remember, Coach was practicing twice a day during that time. He wasn't happy after the Kentucky loss. And Carter got injured then. And so Carter had 3 or 4 days the rest of that bye week, and then he didn't practice against the Saturday game against Mississippi State. And he didn't play in any of those games against Mississippi State and at LSU. So he was the same deal. They both come back Wednesday, practice Thursday, practice Friday, play Saturday against Auburn. So Carter, to me, was a little sharper. He just wasn't out as long. Really, DJ didn't do anything from the Kentucky game until, 11 days later. And so he was out for a good stretch. Carter was not out as long. I do think Carter's ahead of DJ a little bit in that regard. But DJ, he wants to help, and he is very motivated to get better and to play better and to help this team because he's done it before. He's done it at Kentucky, and he's done it at Arkansas.
We've got Matt Zimmerman with us on the D3 Auto Sales hotline. Coach, I want to talk about ACUF. Can you give us some inside information on how this SEC Player of the Week, SEC Freshman of the Week is voted on, and why is he the Freshman of the Week when he was the best player in the SEC last week?
Well, good question, and it's really up to the league. The league in preseason, postseason, they have SEC media that vote on stuff, and they have the coaches that vote on stuff, right? For like the end of the season, the media through the Associated Press and will have the team, and then the coaches will have the all-SEC team, which represents the SEC's opinion of who's all conference, who gets honored. But the Player of the Week and the Freshman of the Week, it's much less complicated. It's not the legendary great Bob Holt wasn't deciding who's the Player of the Week. A great sports writer or a great sportscaster is not deciding who is the player. Even the coaches aren't. Coach Calipari's not voting on who's the Player of the Week or the Freshman of the Week. That's all by the conference. And to me, when I say conference, that's, 2 or 3 people in the conference office, and you nominate them. So Arkansas nominates. Sometimes Arkansas may not nominate them for the Player of the Week, or they may nominate them for both. And sometimes you don't nominate 2 of them. If Malik has a really good game and Darius has a really good game, you probably don't nominate both of them because you want one of your guys to win it. And so it goes to the league on a nomination on Sunday, and then the league being the media relations guy for basketball, Craig Pinkerton, our basketball associate deputy AD, Garth, he looks at it, and I'm sure they have other people there in the SEC office, and they basically make the decision. They do look at the stats, they study it, they try to figure out who they think had the biggest impact. They know it's not like an award that has an end-all, be-all meaning. It just kind of goes down in the kind of the history, I guess, of the league. This is who made it, and the players get a nice certificate. Usually, the coaching staff or the administrative assistant, they'll frame it at the end of the year, and you give them, hey, you were SEC freshman I remember doing them for Bobby Portis, getting a certificate, getting it framed up nice, and giving it to him at the end of the year. And so I think that it's really just those people in the SEC office that look at it and they look at what you submitted. And there's only 3 guys that win Freshman of the Week. The league doesn't have a lot of good freshmen. Darius is one of the best freshmen in the country. So you got Darius, you got Nate Ament, and you have Amari Allen from Alabama. That's the only guys that have won freshman. So there's not a very big pool. But for the player of the week, it's generally going to be somebody who doesn't lose a game and they have good numbers. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the highest scoring guy. You know, sometimes a guy like Cam Boozer may only have 18. I know he's a national player, not just SEC, but he'll be ACC player of the week all the time. He's got 18 points. Darius averages 23.8 in the conference. But Boozer might be averaging 14 rebounds. You know, so they look at all the different things. Of course, Darius has huge assist numbers. He leads the league in assists. It's been surprising to me. I'm sure the same for y'all. That's probably your point, is that he hadn't won the Player of the Week. That he hadn't won that more times, because it seems like he would win that. There was times when he was SEC Freshman of the Week, and I would think to myself, I thought he would be the Player of the Week. But that's how that happened.
Yeah, that was one of the cases yesterday. And I looked at the numbers. I mean, Arkansas was 2-0. He had huge numbers. He was the best player in the SEC last week, but he got Freshman of the Week and not Player of the Week. And I was like, well, what are we doing here?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I know they need to look at who you've beaten, you know, and the teams that you played. Last week we beat Auburn. Now, the LSU game, no offense to them. No offense to Dale Brown. No offense to Shaquille O'Neal or Chris Jackson. But right now, if you beat LSU, it's not necessarily going to make, even if you score 35, you may not be the Player of the Week in the league. But when you beat Auburn, I mean, that's our defending conference champion. That's a really good program there. You know, to me, that would be, I thought he would be the Player of the Week. I think most people did, but that's kind of how they come. It's not the most signed. It's 3 or 4 people in that conference office looking at it, looking at the numbers, talking among themselves, and boom, we're going to make Wes Moore the Player of the Week this week.
Coach, currently on ESPN, NBA TV, they're doing a breakdown of NCAA tournament, and they ranked 5 players to watch going in the NCAA tournament. Darius Acuff was number 5 on that list.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Yeah, that's an incredible fifth. And, what I'm really excited about to see, and really I'd just rather us beat Missouri twice and beat Florida and beat Alabama and beat A&M and Texas than I am about his individual stuff. But winning all that is the byproduct is your guys making first-team all-conference and being the Player of the Year like Bobby Portis was, or the Defensive Player of the Year or whatever. The byproduct of winning is those great awards that make your players shine and put them in the spotlight. And he's going to reap so many awards. And I think that as long as we keep that, he's got a chance to be the Player of the Year in the league. I think he's got a chance to be a first team. To me, the Associated Press All-Americans mean more than anything. And because that's people voting from all around the country, and most of them watch the games. But there's a lot of coaches. There's the NABC, National Association of Basketball Coaches All-American. But seeing he make a first-team All-American, that would be huge. We don't have a lot of those. And you start really, even our second-team AP All-Americans, the Todd Days, the Lee Mayberries, the Sidney Moncriefs, Ron Brewer Sr., Bobby Portis, second-team AP All-American. J.D. Note was a second-team AP All-American. Seeing him get some of that, hopefully first team, and they do it the right way. They do it the old-school way. You know how many guys are on the first-team Associated Press All-American team?
5.
5, baby. I love that. And so I just can't wait to see him that SEC tournament week when all that stuff's coming out, and then the weeks early in the NCAA tournament as more people. He's going to get so many awards because he's earned them, man, and it's going to be awesome for him. But it'll be interesting. What does Malik Thomas get? What does Trevin Brazile get? What's Billy Richmond get right now? Mm-hmm. And so he'll probably be on the SEC. There isn't all defensive team. He should be on that. Darius ain't gonna make the all defense team, but Billy Richmond and Trevin Brazile should.
Mm-hmm. Coach, I got to ask you about Alabama before we get out of here. How is Alabama different now that Bediako's not playing?
Well, they're just smaller. That's why they fought so hard to get him, Wes. He was a big blow for them because Nate Oates in his time there, he's won conference championships. He's won conference tournament championships. He's been to the Final Four. He likes having 3 or 4, like what we have, the 3 guys this year, 6'11", 6'10" guys. He wants 6'10", 6'11", 7-foot rim runners, lob takers, good screeners. That's the kind of players. He doesn't have any of them. And Bediako gave him that again. They've got Aiden Sherrill, number 22. He's more of a pick-and-pop, 3-point shooting big. He'll run in there for some lobs, but he's not the typical Alabama-type big. So all of a sudden, they missed on a couple of recruits. They've got one other shot blocker that's pretty good. I think he's got 27 blocks. But they just don't have that assortment of 6'11", 7-foot long guys. And Bediako brought them that back, and that's why they beat Auburn at Auburn. That's why Bruce Pearl's been complaining so much. Because, look, he got to play, and they beat us, and now they're on this losing streak. They've got all kinds of turmoil. So a lot is stacked up. And I do think that they're a different team. They're not as athletic as they've been in the past. They're not as big. They're not as long. They're not rebounding. They've always been pretty good rebounding. They're not rebounding like that. And so Arkansas matches up very well with Alabama. Obviously, they've got a great player, LeBaron Philon, and he's a year older than Darius, but he's been hearing about how great Darius is. So I'm sure he's going to come out with his trying to play, just like Pettiford did. And so it's going to be really good. I think the guys we can't let beat us is Sherrill, and we can't let Holloway, the transfer from Auburn. He's been at Alabama 2 years. The other guard, Aiden Holloway. We can't let him beat us, and we can't let the thick, strong guard who's been around there, but he's been hurt a lot, Latrell Wrightsell. And he plays well when they win. And so, Philon may get his. He's really good. He's just a step, to me, underneath Darius. He scores just a little less than Darius in the league games, but he doesn't have he's got 20 less assists than Darius in the conference games. He's not quite as all-around the player that Darius is, but he's good. And, we just can't let Holloway and Wrightsell and the other Aiden just eat us up. And it'll be a good matchup. I'll be interested if Alabama tries to zone us any. He's been playing a little bit of zone. Well, he tried to zone us because of our bigs.
Coach, you expect a high-scoring game with both of these teams among the top in the NCAA in scoring?
Yeah, Alabama's led the league in scoring, led the country in scoring the last 2 years. They're still scoring, but they're not scoring it as well. They had a phenomenal player, man. I love that kid. The last 3 years that they had, Mark Sears, remember him, the left-hander?
Yeah.
Man, he was phenomenal. He was outstanding player. He would wear us out. I'm glad he's gone. And but they're scoring just a little bit less, but they're one of the best scoring teams in the country. We're one of the top offensive scoring teams in the country, just like them. So all signs point to a 93 to 92 game.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think that way, you know how it is, West. It'll end up being 75 to 72 or something, I do think these two teams are going to try to guard. Alabama's only one game behind us in the standings. We're one game behind Florida for first place. We're playing for a lot. If we lose, it's not the end of the season by any means. Alabama's playing for a lot. If they lose, it's not the end of their season by any means. So it's a very, very important February game for both teams that know they have a lot more to play for beyond this. For Arkansas to win the league, I'm going to say something crazy. I don't want you to accuse me of being the whack job, okay?
Okay.
But Florida's got 2 losses, right? I mean, there's a lot of people think they're not going to lose another game. I look at their schedule, and I always try to pick out something. They're going to beat South Carolina at home. They're going to beat Mississippi State at home, okay? But they got to go to Texas. They could lose that. They got to go to Ole Miss. Probably will wear out Ole Miss. But Ole Miss, every once in a while, surprises you. And Ole Miss will fight them. Florida will be a big favorite in that game. They got Arkansas at their place, and they've got to go to Rupp Arena. I just think that they've got a couple losses in them. Maybe they have 3 losses in them. Do I think Florida's going to go 16-2? I don't think there's any way. They've got a tough schedule left. Texas is playing better. We get Texas at home. They got to go to Texas. We get Missouri twice. They had Kentucky twice. So I do think, that don't mean that they're going to lose, but I do think Florida, now we need to go beat them. One of their losses has got to beat us and on a Saturday after next. And so I think there's so much to play for these teams.
Coach, we appreciate it. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.
Guys.
We'll be listening tomorrow night.
All right. Enjoy the games. All right. Thank you.
Matt Zimmerman joining us on Out of Bounds. When we come back, we've got Steel Eaves. Thanks to Stephen Elmore, Shelter Insurance. We'll catch up with the winner of Sunday's game. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Tune in each week to Out of Bounds to hear from Lone Oak Steel Eaves. Omaha is the goal, and we're looking for a great season. Steel Eaves is brought to you by Stephen Elmore with Shelter Insurance. For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Stephen Elmore or give him a call at 501-537-0959.
This is Sports Center.
Out of all collegiate baseball teams, the Arkansas Razorbacks have the highest win percentage playing games at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Yesterday, the Razorbacks defeated Tarleton State 3-1. Arkansas pitchers Peyton Lee, Ethan McElvain, and Mark Brizzi combined for 9 innings for 1 run ball with 13 strikeouts in Monday's win. Peyton Lee is a true freshman from Maumelle, Arkansas, and made his collegiate debut starting on the mound. Lee only allowed 1 run on 4 hits and 1 walk while striking out 5 in over 4 innings of action. The Razorbacks will look forward to their home opening series starting on Friday afternoon, taking on Xavier. Also today, we have some college baseball action on the Buzz Radio Network, specifically on Buzz 2, as the Little Rock Trojans travel across the Mississippi to take on the Memphis Tigers. Coverage on Buzz 2 begins today at 4 p.m. I'm Trip Keeter for the Buzz Radio Network.
Oaklawn is here for when you want non-stop racing and non-stop action. The season's back, the weekends are packed, and it's time to plan your visit. The classic racing season kicks off January 30th and runs through May 2nd with exciting weekends, great food and drinks, and the kind of atmosphere you can only find in Hot Springs. It's fast, it's lively, it's time to win. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter agents Matt Warden, Jamie Marsh, or Richard Yeager in Little Rock today.
I'm Alan LeVar. For 25 years, my team and I have helped injury victims across Arkansas. This is our home. We don't work for insurance companies, we work for you. Car crash, truck wreck, motorcycle collision. We know how to win, and if you can't come to us, we'll come to you. Your consultation is always free and confidential. Hurt in the car? Call LeVar. Arkansas strong for 25 years and ready when you need us. LeVar Law. Arkansas built, Arkansas trusted.
The Zone is live on location Friday from the State House Convention Center in Little Rock for the 50th Annual Arkansas RV Show. Motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, camping trailers, all on display at discount show prices. Doors open at 10 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the Arkansas RV Show.
The time has come to address something that you may not be aware of that will change your life. Electronically controlled suspension and road preview. That's a standard feature on a 2026 GV80 from Genesis of Conway. What does it mean? No matter the pothole, your new Genesis can automatically stabilize the ride. The potholes are harmless, and you'll stay out of the hole with the deal you get from Genesis of Conway. The future of luxury today.
When the unthinkable happens to your home or business, whether it's damage from smoke, water, fire, or mold, let Rainbow Restoration make you whole again. Their extensively trained team, state-of-the-art equipment, and 24/7 rapid response will help get your life back on track fast. Because this isn't just their service area, it's their home. When you need them, find them at ArkansasRestorationExperts.com. Rainbow Restoration, where they restore, you recover. Services performed by an independently owned and operated franchise.
The Crane Automotive team presents the Drive Time Sports Triple Double. Randy is taking the show on the road, showcasing a different high school basketball game each week. The Crane Automotive team supports communities and high school athletics throughout Arkansas.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the TruService Credit Union Studios.
What up, y'all? Yeah, soundtrack, what's poppin', baby? Y'all ain't know, I go by the name of Lupe Fiasco, representing that first thing.
The Diamond Hogs are back from Arlington. They went 3-1 on the 4-game trip. Steel Eves, the winner of Sunday's game, joins us now thanks to Stephen Elmore Shelter Insurance. Steel, welcome in. How are you?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
How was Arlington?
Arlington was amazing, man. Our fans are out of this world. We had a lot of people show up, and I had a really good time.
What do you think of team's performance through these first 4 games?
Well, I think we did really well. We found a way to get the job done most of the time, and I think that shows a lot about our character as a team. And yeah, I think we did pretty well this weekend.
Have you ever played in front of 22,000, pitched in front of 22,000, and I think it was 18,000 another night? The crowd was absolutely fantastic.
Yes, sir. I've never personally pitched in front of that many people. It was pretty crazy to get out there and actually go do it. But yeah, a lot of people there.
How are you and the guys, pitchers, starting pitchers, relievers? How are you bonding as a staff?
As a staff, we hang out not only at the field but outside of the field too, and that's just a really good way to get closer with your boys. But when we are at the field, we always like to have a good time and get our work done, obviously, and do it at a high level, but also at that same time try to get closer to each other and enjoy our time.
Take me back to Sunday, 9th inning. You come into the game, quite a mess, a jam. What were the emotions you were feeling being the first time on the mound in a situation like that?
When I first came out onto the mound, I was really just wanting to fill the zone up. And as you know, that first guy, I hit him with that pitch, and then after that, I kind of dialed in, and then when I came back out for my first clean inning, all my nerves were pretty much settled in, and we ended up getting the job done.
Were you pretty jacked up, amped up?
Yeah, I was throwing my hardest I've ever thrown. So you could say I was pretty excited to be out there.
How do you settle yourself down? How do you calm down on the mound in a situation like that?
Well, in a situation like that, you kind of think back to what the older guys that you played with, like a Will McIntyre that's been doing it forever, or like a Gabe Gackle or Gage Wood, and you try to take deep breaths and slow your heartbeat down, and you kind of use your adrenaline. You try to focus it to where you can use it in a good way instead of it being a hindrance to you.
Easier situation, is it easier to go into a game with a 1-run lead or a 1-run deficit, where if you do some work, then you put your team in a position where they get back on offense and now they have a chance to go win the game?
Yes, sir. Coming into any situation, you're kind of thinking about it the same. You want to go out there and compete at the same level, but depending on the situation, you definitely attack hitters in a different way. In the situation that I came in, you just got to go out there and fill up the zone, and then the free pass is really what gets in trouble later on in the game.
I thought you pitched. Well, no, I want to go back to the hit the guy got. I thought that was a good pitch. It was kind of low and outside, and he just kind of flipped it out into left field. Did you like the pitch you threw there?
Yeah, so that pitch was actually below the strike zone a little bit, so it wasn't even a strike. But, I got to get that pitch more to my glove side, and it being on the outside part of the plate just allows for his barrel to have a little bit more access to that part of the zone. But if that pitch is is a little bit more to my glove side, then I don't think he ever makes contact.
For a season still, what's your ideal innings pitch? Just going throughout a season, it may not be realistic to enter a game on a daily basis each game, but you have an idea going into a season. You want to pitch so many innings, and you're in a position where you're going to help the team win because of being a relief pitcher. But do you have an idea going into a season of how much you wanting to pitch?
In regards to how much I want to pitch, I want to pitch as much as I can, and whatever that number ends up being, however many innings, and that'll just be however many it is. But my goal is to go out there and give our team the best chance to win. And if I keep doing that, then hopefully I get more opportunities, and then that'll lead to a higher amount of innings. But yeah, just to go out there and do what I can for the team. It's really all my mindset is.
If your guys wouldn't have scored in the bottom of the 11th, were you going out in the 12th?
Yes, sir. I was actually going to go out for another one. Yes, sir.
How are you feeling?
That was a conversation that me and Hobbs had in between innings.
Yeah, you were at 30.
I'm feeling good, man.
33 pitches. What do you think is your limit right now, early in the season?
I don't think I really have a limit right now. Just kind of go out there and however I'm feeling. If I can go a few more, that's fine. Just, having those conversations with the pitching coach in between the innings, kind of get a feel of what they want you to do, and you get to talk to them about how you're feeling. And, yeah, I felt great.
When you look back at the performance that you had, is it positive? I mean, because you hit the guy, and then you got the little single, but then you came back and you won the game, so the main goal is to win the game. How would you grade that performance?
I would grade that probably as a C or B, because there was some really good things that happened, but there was also some not so good things that happened, getting out there and hitting the guy and giving up the run or giving up that hit obviously weren't very good, but to be able to have that experience, in front of all those people and kind of compose myself and come back out for 2 more innings, I think that showed a little bit of growth, a little bit of growing up on my part. So that part was really good, being able to have some failure like that, but end up coming back and doing a good job. I think that showed a little bit about me growing up.
Still, what do you like to do outside of baseball? What kind of hobbies you got outside of what you love doing?
I really just like hanging out with my friends. We go golfing a lot. A lot of the guys on the pitch staff like to golf. So that takes up a little bit of our free time, and also, get on the video game, hang out with the boys, hang out with my little brother back home. But yeah, that's about it. We're pretty much just focused on baseball, and if we have a little bit of free time, we'll usually just hang out with each other.
Who's the best golfer in the group?
Yes, sir.
No, you are?
Do what?
Who's the best golfer in the group?
Oh, the best golfer in the group? Tate McGuire. He is unreal at golf. Wow. That dude, man, I wish I was as good as him.
So what's he shooting? Is he like a par golfer?
He, I don't know if he's quite par golf, but I know it's not very much off. Maybe, I think if I gave him about 5 strokes, he could shoot par.
Wow. Well, and he looked good on the mound the other night too.
Oh yeah, 5 innings, five batters, or 15 batters, 15 retired. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He did a great job. He kept us in that game.
I was looking at 5 innings pitched, no hits, no walks, had a strikeout, 15 batters faced, 15 at bats.
Yes, sir.
Can't get much better than that right there. But as a staff,
that was one of the better bullpen performances I've ever seen.
As a staff, I thought it was a pretty good game. I think Dietz was a little jacked up, and maybe an inconsistent zone hurt him, as we heard from one of our guys that was there earlier. And Cooper, I think the same thing. Those guys were coming off injuries, hadn't pitched in a while, probably a little jacked up, and I think both of them will be fine once they kind of settle down and get another outing or two.
Oh, 100%. Those 2 guys, those are 2 of the most hardworking, dedicated people to this game and to this team I've ever been a part of. And I know I have total confidence in them that next time that they go out there, then they're going to go out there and be better than what they were Those two guys are really good, man, and we're going to need them this season.
You played pitcher and catcher growing up?
Yes, sir. In high school, or always growing up, I was mainly a catcher. And then around 10th grade, that's when I made my switch that I knew I was going to play collegiate baseball as a pitcher.
We got Steele Leaves with us. He's on the Middleton D3 Auto Sales hotline, thanks to Stephen Elmore Shelter Insurance. The hitting, and Coach Van Horn talked about it yesterday. He was a little disappointed with the some of the at-bats, too many strikeouts. How do you feel like the hitters will respond after the weekend in Arlington?
I think our hitters are going to respond very well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strikeouts, but I think we're getting big hits. We're just not really getting them back to back. So what I mean is we'll have like a double or like a home run, but it's a solo home run. You know, I think once we start getting more on a roll, like on a streak, you know, getting some of those hits to be back to back, that's when we'll start taking off. But yeah, our hitters, man, we hit for power. Like, we have juice, but we're also really fast. That's one thing I noticed this weekend is just how fast our hitters are compared to the other teams. And that, I mean, in a 60-game season, however many, that speed difference is going to make a big difference.
Going back to playing catcher also, so pitchers and catchers have that special relationship. Does it give you a better perspective from both ends and playing both and seeing it from both sides?
Yes, sir, 100%. You know, growing up being a catcher, you kind of learn how to manage a pitching staff. And then you take that knowledge on like how different guys throw, and then you look at yourself and how do I throw? What pitches do I throw? And how would that, like, what would my sequencing look like to a lefty versus a righty, you know? And you kind of just use all of that information that you learned from when you're a little kid growing up into your game now. So it all adds up.
You have one of the best catchers in college baseball in Ryder Helfrich. Do you ever shake him off?
No, I would never shake him off.
What's it like working with him?
I don't know. If the time where I would want to shake off ever comes up, then I guess I'll make a game time decision. But that has not occurred yet.
Y'all have fake shake-offs? Sometimes I see him shaking off, and I'm wondering, is he really shaking him off, or is he just confusing the batter?
There's a little bit of both in there. Yeah, we have some guys that will shake off, and then we also have some fake shakes in there. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Still, you have a favorite MLB team or players that you follow?
If I had to pick a team to support, it'd probably be the Rangers. I like the Rangers. I went to a few games growing up. But, you know, the big baseball team growing up for me was always the Hogs. You know, we don't really have a major league team in Arkansas, so that's really all been the team I supported my whole life.
That's cool. Still, Damian Ruiz, you know, we had heard a lot about him coming out of Lamar, but it didn't sound like he had, from the reports, a good fall or didn't get off to a good start in the spring. This dude lit it up all weekend long. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, so talking about Damian and a lot of other guys, they're game time players, you know. They could be having the worst fall, worst spring, and I'm not saying he had a bad fall or spring at all. But you can tell he turns into a different beast when he gets into the game. When those lights turns on, man, some of those guys just rise to the occasion. And Damian, man, he played unbelievable this weekend.
Yeah, I thought he made some nice catches, and Mike Anu out in center field made some nice catches. I thought, you know what, defense was really good, pitching was really good, and the hitting had some moments. So I thought it was a good weekend.
Yes, sir. I think it was a very good first weekend.
You ready to pitch at Baum now?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to get back home, you know, and pitch in front of our home crowd. But you know, at Arlington, it did feel like a home crowd.
I bet.
When I was out there throwing.
Yeah, they showed the stands, and I mean, when you had just about 80% of the people standing up and calling the Hogs, I was like, that's a home game. And it wasn't too long after that they started calling it Baum Walker South, and I was like, they're dominating that Arlington Stadium right now.
Yeah, all the teams show up thinking it's going to be a neutral site, and then our fans, we travel really well, and then we pop out, and 80% of the fans are Arkansas, so
pretty cool.
Definitely in our advantage.
Hey, Steele, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week. Have a good series against Xavier.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me.
You bet. Steele Eves joining us on the D3 Auto Sales Hotline. Big thanks to Stephen Elmore Shelter Insurance for bringing us Steele Eves every week. We'll take a break and wrap up our second hour. When we come back, we can take a phone call. 661-1037. Talk a little basketball, baseball, whatever is on your mind. Heck, we had Silverfield speaking to the media today and his assistants. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Looking for your next ride? Come on down to Hubbard Power Sports, your local, family-owned Can-Am and Sea-Doo dealer. We've got the latest and greatest Can-Am ATVs, side-by-sides, and spiders to power your weekend fun. And right now, get up to $3,500 off in rebates, plus in-store discounts, or financing as low as 0.99% on select models. Whether you're hitting the trails, working the land, or cruising in style, we've got what you never even knew you needed. On the road, on the water, or in the trails, we've got the ride for you.
Hey, it's David Basil from my good friends at Bath Fitter. I've been working with Bath Fitter for over a decade now. They're a family-owned business that's been around for over 40 years. They are the pioneers of the acrylic bath industry. Bath Fitter offers a one-of-a-kind remodeling process that's easy and stress-free. They offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers, and with their seamless one-piece walls and hundreds of design options, you can refresh your shower space in no time. They can even convert your existing bath into a shower. Check them out online at bathfitterlittlerock.com and tell them Basil sent you.
Hey, y'all. It's the Rocket Roger Clemens here. I spent years on the mound giving everything I had, and now I feel every inning in my knees, back, and shoulders. But I didn't want surgery, and I sure didn't want to be sidelined. That's why I turned to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Christie and his team use regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No surgery, no meds, and no downtime.
Whether you're teeing off at the club or chasing the grandkids around, QC Kinetics helps you get back to doing what you love.
Call QC Kinetics now and schedule your free consultation. Natural joint pain relief with real results.
Don't let the pain slow you down. I didn't, and neither should you. My friends at QC Kinetics, they'll take care of you.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-214-5880. That's 501-214-5880. 501-214-5880.
Horse ownership shouldn't feel confusing or overwhelming. At Winner's Circle Concierge, they help owners enjoy racing without the learning curve. They handle licensing, communication with trainers, race placement, and billing, so you get clarity, not chaos. Whether you're new to racing or short on time, they manage the details so you can focus on the thrill of the sport. Winner's Circle Concierge. Contact them today at 870-942-9382 or learn more at WCCRB.com.
Willie D's Dueling Pianos has not moved yet. They're still rocking right here in the Little Rock River Market. Dueling Pianos upstairs, DJs downstairs with food and drinks every week. Reserve and learn more at WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
Come and get your Willie on.
This is Trey Johnson with HJ Trailer Sales. It's a new year, and we're kicking it off with an inventory blowout sale. We're taking up to $4,000 off 2025 inventory. Whether you've had your eye on it, been dreaming about it, or waiting for the perfect time, this is your moment. At HJ Trailer Sales, we pride ourselves on exceptional customer service and reliability. Kick off the year right, save big, and start fresh with up to $4,000 off 2025 inventory. Visit HJ Trailer Sales today, off Albert Pike in Hot Springs, or online at hjtrailersales.com.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline. Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and Genwealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
If there's anything green in your yard right now, it's probably a weed, and you need to do something about it. Weed control and fertilization service from Sanders Ground Essentials is easier and less expensive than doing nothing or even trying to do it yourself. 315-9395 or go online at sandersground.com. Let's get growing.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. TruService Credit Union. Membership has its rewards with low-rate auto loans, competitive mortgages, and one of the lowest interest rate credit cards in the nation. TruService Credit Union. Online at TruService.net.
It's beautiful, it's bittersweet. You're like a broken home to me. I take a shot of memories and black out like an empty street. I fill my days with the way you walk and fill my nights with broken dreams. I make up lies inside my head like one day you'll come back to me. Now I'm not holding on.
I'm back at it. Let's go over to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Brandon and Carlisle had a suggestion. One of our guys was wanting to get make it easier to find Arkansas scores on ESPN.com and other places. And Joe pointed out on ESPN.com you can set the your preference, your favorites, and put Arkansas in there, and you'll get it. Brandon and Carlisle says you can do that in college baseball on D1 Baseball. D1 Baseball costs you $7 a year, and you can make Arkansas your top preferred team, and you can get easy access to Razorback scores. Thank you, Brandon. We got the Kirk Trickett news. We talked about that a little bit. Arkansas's quarterback coach is leaving for Maryland, according to several different national reporters. He is leaving Arkansas as the quarterback coach to become the offensive coordinator at Maryland. Hog freaking Wild back at it. He says, Wes, thanks for correcting me. The Hogs are 9-3 in the SEC, and ACA for MVP. Let's go. What motivation does Knox have, or not, at times, for draft status right now? Well, right now he doesn't have much draft status, so that would be the motivation. Well, no, the motivation is to win and to play well, to go into the NCAA tournament and do something. That's their motivation, but his motivation right now is just to start playing better and to improve as a player and get back to the player that he was last March. And if he starts playing like that again, things will take care of itself. You know, his rise and the scouts started taking notice end of late last year. Look, they already know who Carter Knox is. They've been following him since he was probably in the 7th grade. They know what Carter Knox can do. Now, can he show it on the court? And if he can do that over the last 6 weeks, then Carter Knox could be back on the draft boards again.
He has an advantage, too, because his brother is an NBA player.
Yeah.
So they to the point that they've known about him for a long time, and it's not going to disappear, but if he did some good things through this stretch run, then it would make them reevaluate and maybe go back and watch some more film.
Yeah. 501 says they announced 22,384 at Globe Life Saturday night, probably 80% Arkansas. The security in front of us said his ears were ringing from the crowd noise. It was an awesome crowd Saturday night. I mean, Friday night was good and Sunday was good. It was very impressive, the turnout by the Razorback fans. All right, coming up in the final hour, we have what's trending. We'll take more calls and get back to the text line. Stick around.
Experience the unmistakable difference today at D3 Auto Sales in Des Arc or West Memphis. D3 Auto Sales is your home for quality used trucks, SUVs, and cars from all top brands, specializing in unique customized lifted and leveled used trucks, including 4-wheel drives. And this commitment to excellence extends to their full-service 10-bay service department as well. Also, looking to trade in or sell your vehicle? D3 Auto Sales pays top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. D3AutoSales.com.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Poen, founded over a decade ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, roll-off dumpsters, and street sweepers. Proud to be Arkansas's only authorized dealer for New Way refuse trucks and Timco street sweepers. Your authorized dealer for Galfab roll-off and hook lift trucks. You can get parts and service for all makes and models, with technicians traveling the state to take care of you. AME
service after the sale.
Ray Tucker with good news for enthusiasts of Triumph motorcycles. Honda of North Little Rock now carries the legendary classics and cutting-edge rides. We have the Bonneville Bobber, Daytona 600, the TF450X, the stunning Elvis Presley edition, and the Rocket 3 Evil Knievel. You get the idea. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Buzz News with KARK's Gary Burton Jr.
You can now sign up for a statewide cleanup effort. Registration is open for the Greatest American Cleanup, which is part of a national initiative focused on community pride for preventing litter and reducing waste. The State Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism says schools, businesses, and civic groups can register for free. These events will be taking place from March through May. And fossils are coming to life this weekend. Dinosaur Adventure is bringing life-size Jurassic creatures to the State Fairground. The indoor dinosaur-themed fun park features rides, fossil digging, and other family-friendly activities. It will be running all weekend long, starting on Friday and ending on Sunday. Tickets are on sale right now at DinosaurAdventure.com. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KARK's Gary Burton Jr.
Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888 for Rainwater Holton Sexton. They'll help you weather the storm.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center.
After morning patchy to dense fog Tuesday, we'll see that disperse due to wind kicking in, southerly winds sustained between 10 and 20 miles an hour, gusting up to 25 to 30 miles an hour possible Tuesday into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning with temperatures in the upper 60s for highs Tuesday afternoon and mostly cloudy skies. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Jenna Warner.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
I'm Trey Reed from the Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz. Join me and Mark Hedrick Tuesday nights at 7 for The Wild Side.
Brought to you by West Rock Landing at Lake Maumelle, Trader Bill's Outdoors, Battery Outfitters, Tammy Chase Insurance, Edwards Food Giant, and Crane Chevrolet.
It's pretty strange how good the deals are at Gwatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock. And tax time is the best time to trade, even if you're currently in the upside down. Right now, get 2026 GMC Sierra with more power than a Demogorgon at 0% and up to 20% below MSRP. Get 2026 Encore or Invista as low as $199 per month. But you won't find a more supernatural deal than Gwatney Buick GMC, because they're prepared to match your tax return up to $1,000 with no alternate dimension required. So escape the upside down prices and head to Gwatney Buick GMC. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. Call 501-945-4444. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. All offers with approved credit. Sierra based on MSRP of $55,370 with loyalty. Vista and Encore are low mileage leases. See dealer for details.
Oaklawn is here for when you want non-stop racing and non-stop action. The season's back, the weekends are packed, and it's time to plan your visit. The classic racing season kicks off January 30th and runs through May 2nd with exciting weekends, great food and drinks, and the kind of atmosphere you can only find in Hot Springs. It's fast, it's lively, it's time to win. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Shelter agents Lawrence Forrester or Bo Beavis in Cabot or Candace Alford in Gravel Ridge today.
Hawks Homes run inventory clearance. Now you can save thousands on remaining clearance models. 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms available for immediate delivery. Don't have land yet? Don't worry. Hawks can finance the land and the home together in one payment. And now through the end of March, Hawks has lenders offering $500 down land home loans with certain credit scores. Remember, we can custom build your new home for you as well. That's hawkshomes.net.
February is Heart Health Month, and your body may be sending you an early warning sign. For many men, the first sign of a heart problem is erectile dysfunction. At Arkansas Urology, they look beyond the symptom of what may be happening underneath, because ED isn't just about intimacy. It can be about your heart, your circulation, and your overall health. Don't ignore the signs. Take care of your heart and your health with Arkansas Urology. 501-219-8900 or visit arkansasurology.com. Arkansas Urology. Men's health starts here.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cash back app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. Top users make between $200 to $300 per month.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GOOD25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GOOD25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GOOD25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz. What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
One of the big stories of the day, Ryan Silverfield met with the media earlier. Coach Silverfield was asked a lot of different topics, talked about the quarterback situation, recruiting Arkansas, moving to Fayetteville. He was also asked about maybe the kind of a comparison to Indiana and the way Indiana was able to turn things around.
Yeah, listen, credit to obviously Coach Ignetti and obviously Indiana and what he did. It's remarkable. Let's call it what it is. I will say this because everybody has asked me that. 135 other coaches are trying to do exactly what they're doing. I don't care if you're saying, well, they were similar to what we are. Notre Dame's trying to do exactly what Indiana did. Oregon, all the resources, right? Everybody's trying to do exactly what Indiana did. We all are. Hawaii. But you learn from it, right? Like, obviously, they had some experience. He's a fantastic coach, and they hit on the right guys. He did a phenomenal job of earmarking the right guys. So I give them all the credit. We all, yes, right? Like, we hope that on all these high school kids, we batted 1,000. We hope on all these transfers, we really hit. We hope in this quarterback competition that we got a dude. There's things you model, you look at, you try to learn from every program. I mean, right? Maybe it's stealing a play from them, right? Maybe it's looking at something they've done in the offseason. I'd say this, every college program's constantly doing the same. Like, hey, is there something we can learn from what Wyoming was doing? That's part of it, but yeah, we're going to constantly try to elevate ourselves. But someone said, hey, does that put more pressure on you? Nah, that's just the nature of it. I'm glad to see that it shows that everybody's capable of going out there and competing at the highest level.
Coach talked about hopefully they hit on all their kids from the state of Arkansas. They did. They signed a good class from Arkansas, and he wants to put a priority on recruiting Arkansas kids.
Let's talk about just in generalities of Arkansas recruiting. So we signed 19 kids, all right, high school kids. 10 of them are from the state of Arkansas. Let me say that again. 10 of the 19 are from the state of Arkansas. So, like, I think that proves a point that how important this state is to us and what we're trying to get accomplished here. I spoke at the High School Coach Association, the Arkansas High School Coach Association, a couple weeks ago, and I shared that stat with them, and a lot of them like, oh, we had no idea. You know, because they all want their kids recruited. They all think, and I said, I don't even know on paper if the recruiting sites would even say there was 10 Division I kids in the state. But that's how important it is to us. We even tried to get some kids, in the portal that are from here, and they never even made the visit here. So I encouraged them. I said, let's keep the kids in state here. If they're thinking about transferring, let's bring them back home if it makes sense for both parties, if it's ultimately the right fit. But those kids that had flipped and decided to stay here and be Razorbacks and play for the in-state team, a lot of those were previous relationships. Some of these kids, I know Quincy Rhodes, that the school put out a thing about our relationship. And it showed a picture of us from, 6 years ago. I had no facial hair, and Quincy weighed about 200 pounds. But those relationships, right, sometimes those are important because those are kids that you believe in, they know you, and they say, man, you haven't changed. You're still that same dude that preaches the same thing, that teaches the kids and tries to play winning football. And TJ Hodges, I remember going to see him at school, and he wasn't even there. And then I ended up running into him at another camp and just saying, hey, don't ever forget about me. And some of these other kids. So I think those relationships with Danny Beals, right? Kennedy, who was on our campus and said, Coach, I'm really not interested in playing for you at my previous spot. And just keeping those relationships alive because you never know. Because back then, maybe they would transfer back to Memphis. But I think just being transparent with these kids and showing them what we're all about and kind of building those relationships has allowed us. And that hopefully that will continue to allow us to keep some of these great kids in state.
It's good stuff. Building relationships may not pay off this time around, but in the portal later, who knows? Coach also talked about being in Fayetteville, living in Fayetteville.
Everybody had told me what a wonderful place this is. Until you truly get to experience it, really, it's phenomenal, right? I love living here. It's beautiful, and it always starts with the people. The people have been great, and I think one of the things I've tried to show is it's important to me to be around and about. There's not a whole lot of free time, right? Like there's not a lot of sleep. I got the young kids at home as well, so I'm not out on the golf courses. I'm not playing around much, but when I do, I want to be out in this great community. My wife has already found herself doing community service, right? She's already signed up to do as much as she can to give back to this great city, and she's so excited about that. I've found time to meet with some of these great donors. I try to get to as many basketball games as I can. I've been to a women's basketball game. I'm going to try to get to gymnastics. I'm excited for baseball season. All the great things that are occurring here have been great. But listen, the people of Northwest Arkansas have been phenomenal. I've already put on way too many pounds I want because of the great food here. I think I've tried about every restaurant in town, but it's been great. And again, it goes back to the wonderful people. It truly has.
And we'll finish up talking about the quarterback room.
Everybody always wants that proven guy that's played a lot of football. And, we've got some guys that have played some football and some guys that have had success, but I think it is a wide open competition. And that started the minute they said that they're Razorbacks, right? From the film study to the work they're doing, right? They do a lot of things on their own, throwing with the wide receivers. Obviously, we can't be a part of that stuff. So that competition is a day in, day out thing, but working together. And ultimately, it's one of those things. I don't sit here and say, hey, by the spring game, we're going to announce a starter. I think truly and wholeheartedly now, if someone has separated themselves so much so, maybe that's a different story. But I believe this thing is going to go all the way through August. And that's not a bad thing. I've dealt with that before at every level, right? Whether in the NFL, college, really trying to get a feel for what it looks like. The good news is, even though none of them are overly, like you said, experienced, powerful quarterbacks, we've got great faith in what they're capable of doing. We believe they can all be legit Power 4 starters and the ability to win a lot of SEC football games. And so excited about who they are, what they're about, the way they're learning the scheme, the way they're going about their work. So quite excited about that room.
There you go. Ryan Silverfield talking with the Razorback media a little earlier today. Now we'll get to what's trending around the country. Tyreek Hill now is a free agent.
Breaking news out of the NFL, according to our own Adam Schefter. Tyreek Hill is being released by the Dolphins. Hill turns 32 on March 1st and is recovering from a dislocated knee and torn ACL and will now be an unrestricted free agent for the first time in his NFL career.
So where does Tyreek go now?
Well, there'll be plenty of teams that will be in the running for him, and the natural fit you would think about right away is going back to Chiefs, but you can get Tyreek Hill now at a discounted price. He's not going to have that major contract that he had to begin with, and that'll intrigue a lot of teams to go get the talent that they feel like he may still have, even though he's coming off a major injury.
Yeah, I wonder, though, if there's so many suitors that might drive up the price.
He wants an ideal situation. You want to get paid, but also you want to be in a position to win. He's won a championship before, but he wants to win more. So he's going to have to, if he wants to go to the best spot, probably take a balance of you get paid well, but also you're in the best situation to win.
How would you characterize his relationship with Mike McDaniel?
That's been one of the teams he's been linked to right away, Chargers. And they may not have a big need for him, but any team could use a receiver like that with the speed that he has and his ability to get open.
But did they get along, or were there issues there?
I think they got along.
Did they?
He was vocal after last season, and they didn't make the playoffs, and he said that he ultimately wants to win. So, I mean, somebody could probably take from that and say they think there may be an issue, but don't think there's an issue. He just ultimately wants to win.
Heard Giants, how he'd be a perfect fit for the Giants.
He and Malik Neighbors together.
Yeah.
Any really good receiver on one side, if you put him on the other side, it's going to be a problem.
Somebody else mentioned Raiders, putting them with the offensive weapons that they have.
I don't know if that's ideal for him. Yeah, because they're not in a position to win right away.
They would have to go. They have to
but
do like
they
the
do
Patriots.
Have they do have a really great offensive scheme though that he would fit into.
Yep, I think a lot of people are ready to assume it's Chiefs and everybody else
because of the issues they've had with their receiving core. He would be a great fit right away.
Last night there was a really good college basketball game. Iowa State, Houston, just a slugfest, two good and they were lighting it up in the first half, man. They were just trading blow after blow, hitting shot after shot. It was entertaining basketball.
Jefferson, and Buchanan. Shot clock winding down, Lipsy. Got to get something up. Heisey catch and shoot.
That place, Hilton Coliseum, was rocking last night. It was one of those kind of must-see events that just got bigger and better throughout the night, and the social media attention felt like the ratings on that just grew throughout the night. Now to the Olympics, and we'll hear from bobsledder Colin Jost.
No, that's SNL. He's on SNL, but he had an experience going through what bobsledders do. He's a consultant for Olympic coverage.
Colin Jost is?
Yeah, he was on Summer Olympics also.
I saw the name. I was like, man, that's familiar. I know that name. Didn't realize I knew it from Saturday Night Live.
I went down the bobsled. I went from start point 1 at the top with a very gifted driver, thankfully, Brian Burkhorn. And I was not prepared for the level of terror of this bobsled. I swear to God, I thought I was going to die. I thought my back was going to snap in half. I thought my bones were going to fly off my body and be littered all up and down the bobsled track. It was by far the scariest experience I've ever had in my life.
Makes me want to do that. That'd be cool to ride along with a good driver.
And news related to that, there's a Ukrainian skeleton racer. He was DQ'd, but he got a $200,000 gift. So, a little compensation there, not necessarily what he wanted. He would want to medal, but because he was DQ'd, then somebody gave him a gift, $200,000.
Why was he DQ'd?
I'm not sure why he was DQ'd.
Let's go to baseball. Aaron Judge. Talk about the Yankees, the offseason.
Oh, he was DQ'd because of he had a helmet and it said something derogatory towards Russia. You know, they're at war, and his helmet said something about Russia, and they wouldn't allow him.
Huh. Okay.
What was the offseason like for you, just waiting to see what the front office was going to do? And then obviously with Cody, you know, going into January, not knowing whether he was going to be back or not, and how important he is to this team.
It was brutal. You know, I'm like, I see a lot of free agents out there. I see a lot of guys that, you know, like the Bellingers, the Grishams, the Goldschmidts, like, yeah, let's sign these guys right now and then start adding more pieces, you know, because I'm seeing other teams around the league get better. They're making trades. They're signing big prospects or big players. And, you know, we're sitting there for a while, you know, kind of making smaller moves. But, you know, it was tough there in the beginning. But I think once we solidify getting Bellinger back. We got Trent being our center fielder, be our leadoff guy for another year. And then you had a guy like Goldie, some of the back end, bullpen pieces that we've been doing. I think we're being in a good spot. But the early on, it was pretty tough to watch. So I'm like, man, we're the New York Yankees. Let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces to go out there and finish this thing off, because we got a special group of players here. We got a good core, a good young core. So it was frustrating, but I think we're right where we need to be.
Did you express any of that to them?
But they took care of business. I voiced my opinion about a couple of guys, and Bellinger being one of the guys that he just adds a dynamic to this team that we've been missing for quite a few years. So excited he's back.
And about that helmet, it was taken as controversial, not necessarily derogatory, because he was honoring Ukrainians that have been killed in the war. So they took it as being controversial because of the two countries being at war, and they're not allowing Russian athletes to compete to begin with.
I saw that in the medal count. I was like, well, Russia's not doing very good. Didn't realize they weren't even there.
Yeah, they haven't been for summer either. Now, they do Olympics. They always do something where they allow athletes to compete as individuals. So there may be some of the Russian athletes, Belarus, but they can't compete for the country. They're competing as individuals. And in the past, they've also done something where there's a united team.
Yeah.
They haven't done that in the past couple of Olympics.
Now we go to Mike Trout. He's playing in the WBC, and he's playing in center field.
No, he's not playing, but he's explaining why he's not playing.
Well, I want to know why. Why is he not playing?
I feel great. Got to build off, a strong ending, personally, at the plate last year. Figured some stuff out that built some confidence into the offseason I could work on. So took a little time off just for the knee to calm down. Obviously I was just DHing the whole time, want to get in the outfield. So that was good, and had a full off season. I want to play in the WBC. Yeah, it was a few things. Obviously insurance was the biggest. That was like a hurdle I was trying to get through. It's disappointing. I wanted to run it back, with all the guys, but I'll cheer for them. It was less on my body than the corners. To be honest, right field, I felt like I was running a lot, but it's just like a preference thing. Talking to some other outfielders, and they're saying that they feel the same way. Sometimes center is less in their legs, but I just feel mentally and confident in center. So the group that we got a lot of guys that are bringing in that are trying to prove something, and it's going to be fun. We got to stick together and build that chemistry. And like I said, it's the first day, so getting to know everybody and seeing everything and see how it goes.
It's interesting to me that playing center field is easier on his body than playing left field and center field or right field.
Yeah, he said and you've heard from other players, they feel like there's a lot more running involved, even though center field, it's a bigger area, but you get more help from the left and right fielder, so it creates a bigger area for those because they're running the corners.
Mm-hmm. Now we got Dana White. He's been talking about the White House event. Now he says the card is ready to go.
You had the matchmaking for the White House. I know you're not announcing anything tonight, but I'm sure you have a framework and an idea in mind of what that card looks like. What can we expect? How many title fights? What does the White House look like?
We have like two different options laid out, and the matchmaking process has already started. So, yeah, we got the White House card done last week.
The card is done already to go?
Yep.
Nice. How many title fights are you able to say?
No.
He's giving out little details here and there, not going to give everything away, though, and it's part of the buildup. But as he said, it's done, but they have a couple of different directions they can go in.
Trying to get something out of him. A little taste of what to expect. And we'll finish up. Here's Nate Diaz. He wants a piece of Conor McGregor or Dustin Poirier?
I would like to fight. I'd like to fight somebody. Man, for the right price. I'm ready to get back in real action. I want to fight either McGregor 3. I want to fight maybe Dustin Poirier if he's happy to take the pussy, and then maybe Mike Perry. We'll see what happens in the future, though.
You want the White House card?
Yeah, that'd be dope too.
McGregor on the White House card?
America's gang, baby. You already know what's popping.
So should we read into that? Nate Diaz isn't going to be in the White House card? Because they just said it was set, and then he says he wants to be in it.
Yeah, well, he's talking about who he would face also. So he could be in the plans, but he has a couple of people that he has lined out that he wants to face. Also in MMA news, Ronda Rousey making a return. She's going to fight Gina Carano on May 16th. And it's a return for both of them, and it's going to be under Jake Paul and the business that he's with and what he's built, not only with boxing but MMA, and it's going to be on Netflix. That's where all of Jake Paul's events are taking place these days. So something to look out for. Ronda Rousey returning here shortly on May 16th.
How long's it been?
It's been at least 8 years, if not longer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Also, Mark Cuban, he says that NBA should embrace tanking. He says that for fans, there's a sense from an NBA standpoint, they're thinking that fans want to see their teams compete on a nightly basis, and he said that's not the case. He said when he first got into it, it was about basketball business, and they want to see good business in a sense where if these teams don't have a chance to win in the current season they're in, now they have some hope for getting these good players coming through the following season, having these high draft picks, and he says NBA should embrace it, but they don't really see it that way.
I get his point of view. It surprised me when you said that, but I started thinking at the end of the season with the Cowboys, I was like, you're not going to the playoffs. Don't win any more games. Get a better draft pick. And that last game of the year, I was glad when Dak went out and then Cowboys lost and another team won and Dallas moved down to number, 12 in the draft?
Now, NFL teams really don't embrace tanking. You're talking about a lot less games and a bigger roster of players. So NBA-wise, you're playing a lot of games. You have a less amount of pool of players. And if that were the case, that they're going to tank, it's easier to get them on board, where you're talking about a roster of 53 who are not only playing for that team, but they're playing for their futures, essentially, when it gets to end of season and they don't have a good team or good record. Now, you may not just be playing for that team. You're playing for other teams around the league because there could be some change coming in, especially if you're going to have a new coach and coaching staff coming in. So NFL is definitely not embraced, but it probably would be a lot easier to get NBA on board because they're playing so many games, and we've heard about players just getting worn out as the season goes on, and they're wanting to get some rest as the season goes on, whether they're in a position to win and make a playoff run or they're just worn out and they're not in that position.
I think from a fan's perspective, though, I understand it. I can see it. I think it's happening so early this year in the NBA. I mean, they were tanking before the All-Star game. I mean, we got a long way to go. You know, how about just get a little better and see if you can't get on a little winning streak and get back into the conversation of the thing, and maybe get up to that 10 spot, 9 spot, and get in the play-in. We got a long way to go to be tanking.
Also, Celtics announced that Jason Tatum coming back from that ruptured Achilles, and we saw a number of players that dealt with this. Tyrese Halliburton, Dame Lillard, who just won three-point shootout at NBA All-Star. But Jason Tatum, he made it a goal, even though he was injured so late in the end of the season and into playoffs, that he wanted to play this year. Celtics announced that he could play as soon as March 1st.
Dang. That's 2 weeks. It's got to be a record, right? That's a quick turnaround.
And it's interesting from the individual standpoint. Jason Tatum made it a goal right away, and Dame Lillard, we saw him. He's able to shoot, but he also made his mind up that it's best for him not to get back on the court this season. We saw that when KD had the injury. He signed with a new team, got a new contract, but with the knowledge that he wouldn't play that first season with that new team, he had decided he was going to sit out the entire season. So it has a lot to do with not only a team, but individually, how you feel and what you're wanting to do. And Jason Tatum, he made it a goal from the start, and he's willing to risk. You know, you're risking everything there, possibly re-injuring because it is such a major injury. Tyrese Halliburton, they had already made the decision that he wasn't going to play this season. So Jason Tatum, yeah, he's definitely in a unique situation.
Unique too. Celtics are not horrible. You know, they're doing okay. So bringing him back to that team, he could see, you know what, we might can make a run this year. Halliburton coming back to Indiana, it's not going to help this year. I mean,
but they had decided
lottery,
they decided that
pick.
long before they even saw how the season was going to play out.
And their injuries weren't too far apart, were they? Halliburton and Tatum?
No. In playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Clark has resigned as MLB-PA executive director, so MLB-PA is going to be looking for new leadership.
Yeah, I saw talk today that hopefully they hire somebody that is willing to work with the owners and try to avoid a
lockout.
A lockout. That was giving some people some hope that maybe there could be some kind of deal made. All right. Let's take a break. We'll start to wrap this up when we come back. Check out the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Yep, we got some stuff over there. Hit us up, 661-1037. That's the same number to call in if you would like to join us. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
U.S. Truck Accessories presents Match Game on Morning Mayhem. Listen for your chance to play their version of the classic TV game show from U.S. Truck Accessories in Conway and Searcy. Your #1 Central Arkansas source for camper shells, bed covers, spray-in bed liners, and more. Veteran owned since 2002. Online at ustruckaccessories.net.
This is SportsCenter.
Out of all collegiate baseball teams, the Arkansas Razorbacks have the highest win percentage playing games at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Yesterday, the Razorbacks defeated Tarleton State 3-1. Arkansas pitchers Peyton Lee, Ethan McElvain, and Mark Brizzi combined for 9 innings for 1 run ball with 13 strikeouts in Monday's win. Peyton Lee is a true freshman from Maumelle, Arkansas, and made his collegiate debut starting on the mound. Lee only allowed 1 run on 4 hits and 1 walk while striking out 5 in over 4 innings of action. The Razorbacks will look forward to their home opening series starting on Friday afternoon, taking on Xavier. Also today, we have some college baseball action on the Buzz Radio Network, specifically on Buzz 2, as the Little Rock Trojans travel across the Mississippi to take on the Memphis Tigers. Coverage on Buzz 2 begins today at 4 p.m. I'm Trip Keeter for the Buzz Radio Network.
Oaklawn is here for when you want non-stop racing and non-stop action. The season's back, the weekends are packed, and it's time to plan your visit. The classic racing season kicks off January 30th and runs through May 2nd with exciting weekends, great food and drinks, and the kind of atmosphere you can only find in Hot Springs. It's fast, it's lively, it's time to win. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's 9 days of Mardi Gras at Eat My Catfish. 9 days, 9 specials, and a whole lot of good food, including the best deals on cooked crawfish. Come get your favorite dishes every day leading up to Fat Tuesday, only at Eat My Catfish.
Hey folks, this is Mitch Ward, proudly serving the great state of Arkansas with Red River Auto Group for over 20 years. We started as Arkansas's #1 Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep dealer, but we've also got Ford and Toyota. And I like to think we've got the largest discounts than anybody in the state. But folks, really, if you bring us any reasonable deal right now, we're going to try to put something together. If that means us giving a little too much for your trade or selling ours for just a little too cheap or fighting for the best rate, we're going to make it happen. Check us out at redriverauto.com.
Johnston's Home Center presents Bubba Carpenter when he gets in the zone with Justin and DJ each week. Outdoor supplies, mowers, appliances, and much more can all be found at Johnston's Home Center. Johnston's Home Center in Benton, your one-stop shop. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcat!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
See Shelter agents Seth Hobbs, Larissa Kelly, or Matt Steele in Bryant today.
Looking for your next ride? Come on down to Hubbard Power Sports, your local, family-owned Can-Am and Sea-Doo dealer. We've got the latest and greatest Can-Am ATVs, side-by-sides, and spiders to power your weekend fun. And right now, get up to $3,500 off in rebates, plus in-store discounts, or financing as low as 0.99% on select models. Whether you're hitting the trails, working the land, or cruising in style, we've got what you never even knew you needed. On the road, on the water, or in the trails, we've got the ride for you.
Hey, it's Randy Rainwater from Drive Time Sports. Tuesday, Rick Schaefer and I have an interesting show planned for you. Neil Atkinson from Bed Saracen, Hogsports.com's Trey Biddy, thanks to Chris Crane Hyundai and Genesis of Conway, and Kevin Hoop Scoop McPherson from Hogville.net. See you Tuesday on 103.7 The Buzz.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. Online at TruService.net.
Flip mode. 9-7. Bust a bus. Hot check it out. Hit you with no delaying, so what you saying, yo? Silly with your ice, grilly with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo. While up in the club like we while in the studio. You know when to violate, baby, really and truly, yo. My main thug, Bill and Julio, he moody, yo. Type of brother that'll slap you with the...
A lot of new goals set for 2026. How about setting a goal of getting your finances in order? They'll help you at TruService Federal Credit Union. You're ready to save more this year, give them a try. TruService Community Federal Credit Union can help you, your family, your friend, your coworkers reduce financial stress, and it all starts with better rates and guidance. When you become a member at TruService and open a checking or savings account, you get access to low-rate auto loans, competitive mortgages, and one of the lowest interest rate credit cards in the nation. And that's perfect for paying down some of that high-interest debt. TruService may also be able to help lower your interest rate and your payment on your current auto loan. May be able to reduce the term, too. It's worth a shot. Give Linda Jeffries and Allie Gonzalez a call. They can walk you through the whole process. It doesn't matter if it's a new mortgage, auto loan, auto refinancing, home equity loan, or just starting a savings account. TruService, they're here for you. They're here for the community. You can go online at TruService.net. Wes Moore and Joe Franklin with you on Out of Bounds. Give us a call at 661-1037. Read some of the feedback we've been getting and text. Start on the on our feedback. Let's see here. Andrew says about Acuff. We were talking about him winning the Player of the Year, and I was hoping they don't just go, give him the Freshman of the Year. That's good enough. Well, Andrew says and points out Brandon Miller and Anthony Davis won both Freshman of the Year and Player of the Year. So it can be done. Now, that's something I would like to see, the double.
Oh, it can definitely be done, but we probably need to go back and see how many times those players won Player of the Week and Freshman of the Week combined, and if they won both, which – you would think they did.
Mm-hmm.
And just by memory, Brandon Miller did win it Player of the Week several times.
Here's a Cubs fan. How about the Cubbies? 92 wins last year. Add Alex Bergman at third, Bregman to third. And Cubs have a strong rotation with their best pitcher, Justin Russell, set to come back during the season. Holy cow, the Cubs are way better than the Cards. Like that little trash talk here on a Tuesday.
It already begins. And yeah, there's a lot of excitement about Cubs and that division in general. It's going to be really competitive.
Here's a hockey fan talking about tanking. The National Hockey League plays 82 games, no tanking. Just another reason why we don't care about the NBA. I'm a Bulls fan. I can't tell if they're tanking or trying. Oh, well.
Oh, well, Bulls fans, Wes, you mentioned how teams should try to get into that play-in, that 7 to 10 range.
Yeah.
Bulls seem like they're stuck there. That's where they've been over the past few seasons. And from a fan basis standpoint, that can get frustrating because if you can't get higher than that, and especially if you're in that 9-10, it's hard to get from that game to actually get into playoffs. So, I mean, they're always trying to add some quality players and bring in some free agents, but they seem to be stuck right around there.
This year's draft class is incredible. I mean, the NBA draft is loaded this year, and that's why you have so many teams that are several teams that are already thinking about just blowing off this year and getting the best possible pick to change their franchise.
But right now, also, what you have to keep in mind with NBA draft is it's not just lined up like other sports where, well, football, for example, by record, it's going to go down the line. There's a lottery. These teams are wanting to be in position for that lottery, but there's no guarantee they get a number one overall pick, which that's what all teams essentially are wanting. Best player in the game coming out.
Look at the Mavericks. They didn't have the worst record last year and won the lottery, literally, to get Cooper Flagg. Now let's go to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Do you think Acuff can be the first pick in the draft? That's from Alex. No.
No, don't think so.
No. But maybe he keeps playing well and moves up into top 5. I think 5 would be a good spot for him.
Yeah, he could do that.
That's how loaded this draft is. I just looked to see if there was an update on NBADraft.net, and there is not. But they had him at, I think we were talking last week, he was at 12. Now, I think he's better than 12, but it also just shows you how many good players are coming out this year.
It's based on team needs also.
Jeff says, that many Hog fans, and TCU is less than 15 miles down the road. Well, yeah, and it shows you something a little different about the two programs too. I mean, Arkansas baseball's, it's right there. I mean, you got, when you think of fans traveling, LSU travels great. Tennessee travels great. Arkansas travels. It's SEC baseball. It's a different animal. H2 says the Ukrainian Luger helmet had photos of deceased athletes from Ukraine because of the war with Russia. Thanks, H2. LC in Sherwood says, I didn't recognize Nate Diaz there for a minute because he usually inserts an F-bomb, especially if he's talking about Conor McGregor.
They may have cleaned it up.
Let's bring in John. He's in Searcy. What's up, John?
Hey, guys. What's going on?
It's good.
Hey.
I just wanted to see what you guys thought, or how you thought the football team would be, how they would do next year. I looked at their schedule, and it's pretty brutal. I just wanted to see how you thought they would do, and I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks, John. It is brutal. I have no idea. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I don't know who the playmakers at wide receiver are going to be. I don't know anything about the defense except for Quincy Rhodes is back. Who are going to be the linebackers? They got about 15. What was it, 20? I think it was 21 transfers on defense. Surely some of them are good, right? Surely some of them are good players. It's so hard. This is going to be – we thought last year was hard to predict and try to figure out how good this team was. Well, now you throw in a brand-new coaching staff, putting in a brand-new offense, brand-new defense with all these new players. I have no idea. I mean, they could be 2-10 again. They could go 8-4. I'm not going to go any higher than that. That would be a remarkable turnaround for a first-year head coach in the SEC with a 9-game SEC schedule. And Utah. I mean, 8-4 would be like winning a national championship for this team. That would be absolutely incredible.
Somewhere around 4 or 5 wins, what it looks like now. But when we get closer to the season, that perspective could change. And once we get into season and see what this team actually is, it definitely could change.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a team that's competitive but doesn't beat themselves. You know, just hands the game over because of turnovers. And that's the one thing they're preaching is not beating themselves with penalties and turnovers. That would be a start. I'd enjoy that. I mean, last year was entertaining football. The offense was fun to watch until the fourth quarter. And it always seemed like there was something bad was going to happen. I'm tired of that. That's the thing I want to change. Just be competitive and then don't beat yourself. Look, if the other team's just better and they find a way to score and beat you in the fourth quarter, so be it.
4 or 5 wins also would be a major improvement over 2, as much as nobody would want to hear that, but it would be a step in the right direction if that's what it is.
501 says, speaking of Mark Cuban, there have been some rumblings out there that he may be wanting to become the majority owner of the Dallas Mavericks again because it appears to be that a casino will not be built anytime soon in Big D. The current majority ownership of the Dallas Mavericks is owned by a casino family whose sole reason for purchasing the team was to build a casino in Dallas. I did get a email from the Dallas Morning News talking about Cuban's interest in buying more of the minority stock into the Mavericks. So, yeah, there may be something there to it.
Of course.
He may be missing out as being, a bigger part of the team.
Why not double it up? He already got paid once off the sale. Now come back and you can make more off the revenue that the team is generating.
There's nobody. He's in nowhere.
Gentlemen, I appreciate just a moment of your time. This is sort of a public service call, but I wanted to give a shout-out to the Fountain Lake School District. Gave Mills all they wanted last night in a basketball game.
Ooh.
And I sent a message to you on your Facebook page, and I've done it to DJ and some of the other guys. These kids have started their own play-by-play live action where the kids are doing all the broadcasting and the announcing.
Huh.
And they've started a podcast as well. And I was hoping maybe I could get some of the guys from the Buzz to maybe call them or give them some pointers and advice and maybe help mold some of the kids that are looking up to you out there that say, hey, maybe I can make it in this world one day. And I just didn't know who to contact and how to get a hold of people. So it's like I'm just going to call the radio because I'm not bashful.
That's awesome. No, that's great. I'll be honest with you. I never check my messages on Facebook. Most of the time it's when I go over there, it's a bunch of look at this group or that group, and it's not stuff I want to look at, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I never get on the messenger on Facebook, and I appreciate you telling me that. I'll have to check it out. How do I find them?
They're on YouTube at Fountain Lake School District.
Awesome.
Like if you'll just type Fountain Lake School District into YouTube, they'll pull up all their games they've done. And, man, they do a really good job for 15, 16, 17-year-old kids broadcasting games. And like I said, they could use some encouragement and some advice from people that are made a career out of talking to people. So if you have – I know I'm putting you on the spot on the radio, but, y'all are the best in the business in our state, and what a better place to ask for help. So I appreciate you taking my call, and sorry for putting you on the spot on the radio. God bless you, keep you guys.
You're good. I'll definitely check them out. I think it's an awesome opportunity that they're getting right now. I wish I'd have had that in high school, but I'm too old. We didn't have that kind of stuff. And when I talk to kids these days, that's all I tell them. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. It's just repetition, over and over and over. You're going to suck in the beginning, and then you're going to look back in 5 years, and you're going to realize how much better you were and how bad you were in the beginning. But that's what it takes. It just takes doing it, repetition, over and over and over. And to get that opportunity at this age is priceless. And I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. I'm on YouTube all the time anyway. Let's take a
probably
break.
Start in-house with Trip Keeter.
Trip.
Get some pointers from Trip.
Well, he was on the call last night for Mills.
Well, I'm saying the students that he's talking about.
Yep.
They're right there, and I'm sure they know Trip from being play-by-play, and so he can give them some pointers.
Mm-hmm. Mills is good. Fountain Lake gave him a game. That says a lot about Fountain Lake, too. We will wrap this up when we come back. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Arkansas is worth protecting. This is Secretary of State Cole Jester, Republican candidate for Arkansas Land Commissioner. As a constitutional lawyer and a strong conservative, I've fought to stop foreign countries from buying our farmland, and we've cut business filing times by 90%. That has earned the trust of leaders like Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Arkansas needs a land commissioner who will protect our state from foreign influence and defend our freedom and way of life. That's why I'm voting for Cole Jester for land commissioner. Cole Jester helped me win the fight to kick communist China off of our farmland and to ban men from women's sports. And as our Secretary of State, he helped make Arkansas #1 in the country for election integrity. Please join me in voting for a great conservative, Cole Jester, for land commissioner.
As land commissioner, I'll put Arkansas families first. I'm Cole Jester, and I'd be honored to have your vote on March 3rd.
Paid for by Cole for Commissioner.
Experience the unmistakable difference today at D3 Auto Sales in Des Arc or West Memphis. D3 Auto Sales is your home for quality used trucks, SUVs, and cars from all top brands, specializing in unique customized lifted and leveled used trucks, including 4-wheel drives. And this commitment to excellence extends to their full-service 10-bay service department as well. Also, looking to trade in or sell your vehicle? D3 Auto Sales pays top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. D3AutoSales.com.
Make your yard the envy of the neighborhood with top-quality equipment from Cabot Outdoors. Right now, purchase a Hustler Fast Track Series mower and receive a free pressure washer. An unbeatable bonus of up to $799. But hurry to get an extra $500 off. Supplies are limited. The Hustler Fast Track delivers precision, comfort, and durability for homeowners who demand more. Stop by Cabot Outdoors, 901 South Pine Street in Cabot, or take a look on Facebook.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you, gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
We're keeping Arkansas beautiful. Want to lend a hand? Don't be afraid to get them dirty. Every day, volunteers around the state are picking up litter, planting trees and wildflowers, recycling, and more. You know what these volunteers need most? Help. Volunteer today at KeepArkansasBeautiful.com. Learn more about all our programs. A message brought to you by the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission, this station, and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
Arkansas fans, a reminder, we can't win every time. That would be boring. And besides, the only place where that happens is at Genesis of Conway. The minute you arrive at the dealership, you know this will be a different car buying experience. Owning a GV70 or GV80 makes you feel like a winner every time, and it's not boring. Believe me. They'll make it happen at Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
This is number one champion sound. Yeah, Estelle, we about to get down. Who the hottest in the world right now? Just touched down in London town. Bet they give me a pound. Tell them put the money in my hand right now. Set up a motor, we need more seats. We just sold out all the floor seats.
Take me on a trip, I'd like to go someday. Take me to New York, I'd love to see LA. I really want to come pick you up.
Back at it, wrapping it up. Final segment of Out of Bounds. Finish up on the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Savage says, Wes, I know it's not good for the heart, but I would rather have games like the Texas Tech game for the baseball team. Good learning experience. Yeah, Savage, I think that entire weekend was great for them. I mean, to play three good teams, Oklahoma State, TCU, and Texas Tech. And look, in the Texas Tech, that team got a valuable lesson. No lead safe. And they also got the lesson that, you know what, so what if we lose the lead late? We can come back and win the game. Once you do it, that's in the back of your mind, and you know we can do it again. It's not impossible. So I thought that was a huge learning experience for the team. And I would think, just me, and interest, I was a lot more interested in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's game against quality opponents than I was the Tarleton State game. And it's the same thing this weekend. I'm excited that it's the, season opener, home opener at Baum Walker Stadium, but it's Xavier. Although Dave Van Horn says Xavier's got a good team, and they've kind of lined things up, and they feel like this year they could get to the postseason. But I was thinking about it, especially after the first game against Oklahoma State, and they beat them 12-2. And I was like, man, what if they had a schedule that was just, like, incredible? Like, you had team after team after team, top-tier teams you were playing each week. Would that wear a team out? The grind just be too much? Or would it just create such competition that by the time you got ready for the College World Series, it was just another game? Anyway, I'm with you, Savage. Texas Tech didn't like the way it went in the ninth inning, but I love the way they bounced back. 870 says, this is your other local hockey fan. I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan. They are the worst team in the league right now. They shipped away 2 of our top 5 scorers. Tanking is definitely still happening in the NHL.
That's a way to do it, though, to sit players, to trade players. That's a way to do it without actually doing it, where players aren't going out performing. You're just taking away from the team, and that happens naturally in all sports.
Yeah, and that's what the Cowboys did in the last game. Sat Dak for the second half. They sat some other players who were dealing with some lingering injuries. You know what? Or, this guy was going to get surgery at some point. Well, let's just go ahead and do it now and get a start on the rehab. And guys, it's a contact sport. Guys get hurt, injured, sit them, go get your surgery. Chico in Pine Bluff says, given the loaded draft class no, that's not Chico. There he is. Do you think Pickens is going to be a Cowboy next year? Does Jerry screw that up? Well, it looks like they're going to give him the franchise tag, but then there's the possibility of trading him.
They get the right compensation, they will do that.
Yeah. And, the Cowboys are over the salary cap, so they got to figure out how to restructure some contracts to get under the salary cap. Thought Pickens was awesome for Dallas this year. If you get rid of him, you got to go get another wide receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb. Do you do it in the draft? But then, I don't know. Questions for the GM. Given the loaded draft class, is there a decent chance of Thomas coming back? That's from Mike. Mike, right now he's projected middle of the first round, so unless he falls dramatically, I don't think so. I think he is going to still be coveted and be a first-round pick. Coming up tomorrow, Kevin Bohannon will join us from hogsports.com. Also, we'll get ready for Arkansas-Alabama, top 25 matchup. Hope you can join us. Have a good night, everybody. Stick around, though. Drive Time Sports is next.
Hawks Homes run inventory clearance. Now you can save thousands on remaining clearance models. 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedrooms available for immediate delivery. Don't have land yet? Don't worry. Hawks can finance the land and the